finally sending the finely ground particles across the inhospitable landscape. The scorched sands is desolate, its unrelenting heat brutal and uninviting. But something has changed, something recent. A foreign threat has flexed his icy muscles to the northeast of this place, and Gaia, the All-Mother, has tasked one of her paladins with eliminating the lesser god's growing influence. The sand, a million tiny burning daggers, careen through the air with growing intensity before many of them slam into the cloth-wrapped face and body of the young paladin, a man on a mission. He trudges through the seemingly endless tans and yellows, silently cursing the perpetually unobscured celestial toil above him, the sun. Its power also emanates from the glowing object he holds close to his chest. His journey is long, and a sea of sand is eventually replaced by a sea of ice. Other followers of Gaia join him along the way, turning the man's holy mission into a full-blown crusade. Once in Gilead, embers and snow squall do battle in the air, but the side of darkness the paladin knows will inevitably fall to the insurmountable power wielded within the gift given to him by the All-Mother. But the paladin, secretly harboring a colder heart himself, has different plans. With victory on the horizon and the last of Zirdak's influence split between a half-frozen swamp and a desecrated temple, the Oathbreaker orders his troops to halt. He approaches a small hill in the swamp where he meets with the weakened god face to face. But instead of using the gauntlet to destroy the frigid dune, he instead uses it to imprison Zirdak between the planes. The power of the gauntlet, however, has consequences. In the moments following the indescribable burst of energy and the obliteration of whoever was close enough to see it, it falls from the Oathbreaker's now badly burned and deformed hand. And then he leaves, disappearing for the better part of a decade as he struggles to reach the power of the god he imprisoned. In his absence, the relic is recovered, a town is constructed in his memory, and he gains worshippers, the Order of the Eternal Flame. His power grows, he gains immortality, but his hand never gets better. Wishing to be... That's just how he walks.
Are you leaving?
No, I'm putting this in my back in my car.
Wishing to be the only person capable of wielding the gauntlet, should he have use of it again, he uses this grotesque reminder as a calling card, sending the deadliest assassins of the realm after those who may be threats. We cut to that same hand, modern day. Balcazar, the Oathbreaker, is still levitating. Destroyed remains of the hospital are around him, and Nova, you find yourself on the ground in front of him.
I'm gonna get up.
So as you struggle to stand, Balcazar looks down at you and smiles. Or at least you think it's a smile. And he kind of lifts a hand in your direction, but before anything else is able to happen, Arlana jumps between the two of you. Go! I'll find you some time. Find the blacksmith at the market. He has something that can help. I love you.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Go. And she turns back toward Balcazar as you run out one of the remaining walls of the door. You run out the door.
I'm just imagining there's 3 just completely missing walls, and a single wall that's still standing. She goes through that.
You run out of the hospital. I did send all of you guys the map. It's the same map as what Eden was last game that we played. Thamir, Tazaruk, Matixia, you guys are all staying in the refugee camp. That's where you slept overnight. We're going to say for the sake of this, you guys all got a full night's worth of sleep. You're back up to full everything. Cypher, you're still hanging out outside of the market. You did your meditating out there, and you finished reading the blueprints. So you're outside of the market. Those of you who were sleeping, you awake as this violent explosion racks the island, and Riley comes running into the encampment. You guys can't see her because you're all in your various tents, but you can hear her outside, like her shrill voice rising above. We're under attack. There's things. They're coming. Holy shit. Okay, everyone get up. You are kind of in this weird meditative state, but you open your eyes as you see what's left of the roof of the hospital land on the ground, kind of maybe 30, 40 yards out ahead of you. And there's like this loud, thunderous explosion.
Damn, get to the roof of that place.
Abby is in the same tent as you. She's waking up wide-eyed, absolutely terrified because she has no idea what the fuck's happening.
I'm going to run towards the blacksmith.
You throw your top of your tent open, and you emerge at the same time that a lot of the other Goliaths are emerging from their tents, kind of wiping the last of sleep from their eyes. And you can see some torches light up all around town because it's still dark at this point. And there are towers on the outskirts of the island where you can hear foom, foom, people shooting arrows off into the darkness. And you can also hear like hollow thuds closer to you, as it sounds like something moving at a quick pace is making impact with wood or something else. It seems like whatever battle they were anticipating is now upon them. And you start heading out toward the blacksmith.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the blacksmith.
Okay. So you sprint across town. You see the same thing that he did, and you're running across, and as you near the front of the market, you can see her because you're coming up on her rear, but you see Cypher sitting on a bench outside of the market, and you just see her running up. Just this look of fear on her face.
Where you going?
Everybody needed the blacksmith.
Blacksmith? Okay.
You're the first one into the market.
Okay.
Cypher is behind you, and Thamir, you come in third. The market is a lot quieter than it was the day before, and it is almost entirely empty at that point, although you can still hear in the very back of the room just this ting, ting, where the blacksmith is just furiously working away at whatever project he's been tasked with, seemingly oblivious to whatever is going on outside.
Did I ever have that conversation in my tent?
You did. We're going to go back to that when we come across a plot point that is important.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't forgotten.
Yes, it has not been.
I'm guessing Riley is still outside the tents and whatnot.
She is, and it looks like she... are you coming out of your tent?
Yeah, I was going to...
Yeah, so it's her and her two simp warriors who are with her.
What the hell is going on?
They're here. The darkness, or whatever we were anticipating, they're here.
All right. Where'd the others go? Did you see?
They just ran off toward the center of town.
Where are the bad guys coming from?
They're coming across still, but fuck, did you hear that explosion?
Yes.
Yeah, there's something that was here. I don't know, it sounded like it was coming from the hospital.
Hospital. All right, I'm going to start heading that way.
You take care of that. I'm going to lead whoever I can to this army that's crossing, and she's going to yell over to where your father is, as well as a bunch of the other Goliaths. Hey, big guys, we're going to need your help. And everyone starts gathering their stuff together, and they start heading off to essentially what would have been the shoreline of the island, next to where there is a guard tower. There are flames and things being lit up around them.
Can Abby do anything, or should I just leave her?
Are you asking Abby?
I don't think...
In the third person? You're staying with the Goliath mother and her two children. And they're all, like, the kids are kind of, like, terrified. The mom is holding them close. She looks like she could fight if, situation deemed it, but right now she's just focused on the safety of her kids.
All right, I'm going to turn to the mother. Can you look after Abigail?
Yeah, I can do that. And Abby's like, you're leaving me?
I don't want you to get hurt. I have to go fight.
I'm scared.
Well, you have your axe, so if anyone comes, kill them.
Okay.
Eat their ears.
And the kids are like, what did she say? As you run out. So back to the blacksmiths. It seems like there's no one else inside of this market except for the blacksmith at the far end.
I'm gonna come in and
it's
start
you three.
just grabbing shit from the walls.
Okay.
And say, like, we're under attack.
You grab just whatever's closest to you on the walls, which at this point isn't a whole lot. There's a couple of great swords and things, and you're just piling them, I guess, into your arms. And there's, like, some other things, too. So, like, there's, like, a pair of, like, antlers that you randomly take off the wall as well, just gathering whatever you can.
Put it on my head. Can I have antlers on my head?
Wait, what the fuck is going on?
This whole time, you guys just hear the blacksmith in the back just pounding away.
Hey, yo, dickhead, what's going on?
Whoa.
No, don't
Ting,
ask him. We're stealing shit.
He's ignoring you.
Hey, is my armor
are
gone?
under attack.
So you walk up to the blacksmith?
Yes.
So you walk up to him, and it seems like he is just finishing this piece of icy blue armor with, like, spikes on it. There's some sockets that at this point do not have any jewels or gems in them, but it seems like he's in the process of attempting to put them into it. And that's the last bit of that he's working on. And he just looks up at you and, oh yeah, this is almost finished.
How much longer?
Just a couple minutes.
We're under attack
Roll me a perception check.
by Balthazar.
Isn't that guy dead?
I don't have time for this. Just start grabbing
Crit 1, but plus 7 perception.
Critical 1?
Yeah.
Then no. A critical 1 is a critical 1. Your armor is coming along nicely.
I'm an archer, so what? I took all the bows, didn't I? All the arrows.
Yeah, there's a ton of arrows in your pack. I don't even keep track of that anyway.
Yeah.
Cause like,
Do they have any potions in this blacksmith?
everything is cleaned out.
Yeah, I'm just watching her take this shit then.
And it's just like, it's at this point, it's becoming increasingly random shit off the walls. It's like there's like a family photograph of like whoever owns the market that you're picking up. So there's like maybe like 30 seconds or so that passes as you hear like this sigh of, it's kind of like relief. It's kind of like that sigh that people do after like a job well done. Soaking in like the fact that they just did something, but also he recognizes that there is shit going on outside, and he lifts up this armor and he's like, "It's ready."
Can I do another perception?
He looks over at you, and he looks at the like space behind you, and he's like, "Nova, I have your armor." And you realize now, looking at it, it is the Remoraz scales that was put into this armor. It's everything that you had asked for. But it's not your size. It's not even close to your size. It is very clearly Nova-sized
I'm pulling out
armor.
my warhammer and hitting him over the fucking head.
You murder this guy?
I murdered this dude.
Go ahead and roll the
I
hit.
start running over with the deer antlers.
Roll the hit and roll with advantage because he's surprised that this is happening.
14 to hit.
So he's sitting there and he kind of calls out to you, so it gets your attention. You turn to face him, and in that moment where you're looking at him and you look at this armor that's very clearly your size, his head just fucking explodes under like the weight of your warhammer, and he just falls slumped to the ground, and this armor just falls to the ground in front of him.
Fucking
Are
sick.
you gonna try to like fit into it or something? And that's what you say.
Backbeat.
So I run over, and as I'm picking up the armor, I'm screaming at him like, we could have used him as a hostage or something.
I
A
paid
hostage.
for my own fucking armor. And he made it for
He
you.
was on your side. Okay. That wasn't how I was expecting that to go, but where are you guys going?
I was running towards like the hospital in
Okay.
town.
Oh, one other thing that I almost forgot to mention. As you were running off, because Riley is starting to go the other direction, she looks back at you and yells because she knows that you have the gauntlet in your possession. The tether's the key. It's the only thing we can use to truly hurt him. So just prepare. And then she runs off.
What does that mean?
The tether's
Tether's the key.
Where was Tazar going?
There's some cool stuff coming for you, yeah.
Oh, alright, I'll be ready.
Okay, I'll go toward that area.
Okay, so you're heading to the hospital as well. You guys run up to the hospital as the front wall of the hospital just falls down. And not that it would have mattered because Balcazar is high up in the sky at this point, and he is tightly gripping another figure and holding her high above the ground.
Is he still Jeff sized, or is he like?
He is slightly larger than Jeff's size. He's like right around your size.
Not.
He's like Frank's size, but with muscles.
I don't have muscles.
You have muscles. I've seen your muscles. You're strong.
6'7".
That sounded like you were talking to a kid.
You're strong.
Okay, so that's what you guys do. You guys reach that. And actually, at that same time, TJ comes up behind you, and he is now like joining you guys to see what the fuck this explosion just was. And we're on to Lizzie. You, along with your army, reach the shores of this island, and you can hear around you and kind of to a degree see where these archers at the top of these two watchtowers to your right and to your left are firing down at the army. You see like people falling to your left and right, and their ranged attackers also shooting back up at the watchtowers. And there's a group of Goliaths and some other elves that are coming down, including some of the ones that you had met on your previous excursion to the island. This Riley character and her two simp warriors who are at her sides, and some other people that are coming down. And to your left and right, it seems like the forces that you have arrived here with are getting antsy. Like they're ready to fuck shit up.
All right, guys. So we need some people.
All right, gang.
So we need some people to go towards these guys shooting up top, and the rest of us need to go forward towards Riley.
Okay, cool. So you with the main brunt of the forces continue on as these semi-large, shadowy, icy aberrations fire these ice shards that go toward where the watchtowers are, and the one on the left side, it seems like, takes a direct hit as that entire side freezes along with whatever defenders were up in that tower. The right side's continuing to fire, but they're no longer focused on the main force. They're focused on these otherworldly creatures that you have arrived here with. So the main forces coming in, we're going to say directly ahead of you are Riley and her two simps, as the main forces are now colliding with one another, but the ones directly in front of you are her and her two companions. You know that your god lies somewhere in this town. And you heard this explosion as well. You think that it's tied to him in some way. You know that he was inhabiting the body of this boy, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
And your goal is essentially to eradicate whatever defenses lie on this island and to reunite with your god and have this conversation with him in person, have this moment where it's like you speaking to like a fucking god, you know? Like that's your goal.
Alright, so I'll go up to Riley and say, "Where's Jeff?"
Fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. And she just pulls a weapon out. The two simps next to her are shooting off to varying other attackers, but they soon turn and now face their attention on you. It's 1v3. It's you versus the three of them.
Where's our army?
They're fighting around her, but like right now they're focused on other threats.
This is like the last phase.
Can I fight Riley?
Yeah, you can fight
Alright, I
Riley.
want to fight Riley.
Do me a favor. Roll for initiative.
Oh
my god.
What?
She got a nat 20.
What?
Plus 4.
Oh, fuck.
Damn, first roll
Just
ever in this game.
So you move much quicker than anyone else that you're fighting, and you have the first opportunity to attack someone.
I'm gonna do a repentance.
So the tether is the key.
What is the
You guys,
My
are, you guys
God.
are having this conversation as you're staring up at this thing.
She got a natural
Riley
20.
yelled to me.
Two natural 20s in a row?
because I'm tethered
8
to
for attack.
the frigid.
Or
genie.
like her attack damage was 8.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I never told you guys that, but I'm kind of connected to like a god in a way, and he's kind of this guy's enemy.
Oh, okay.
So
So the guy that you're connected to, Riley told you that you being connected to that guy is the key to beating this guy?
I think so.
Okay. So you have the gauntlet,
I have the gauntlet,
and Riley knew that.
and Riley knew that.
So what does that mean? Can you give the gauntlet to your god to fight for us?
I don't
Are
know.
you the god?
I don't
like-
know. I don't know how this
Like
works.
how Jeff was his god?
We are going to pick back up in that in a second. That's exactly the conversation I wanted to have, but I'm still over here. Okay. Natural 20. That's what you got to hit.
Yes.
And you did 8 points of damage. So you'd actually do 16 points of damage. Natural 20 doubles the amount of damage that you do.
Alright, I want to take out her leg.
She's using a mace with a flail.
So this is repentance,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So this is the weapon that was essentially gifted to you by your order. It's a artifact that they've gathered over the course of their existence from somewhere. It's a religious artifact. And you are wielding it, and you crouch down really low as Riley takes a step toward you, and you swing it toward her right side, taking her out at the right knee, and she just falls, and you can hear like this sharp crack in her left knee as she falls down to that knee. And right in that moment, before you're able to do anything else, her two gentlemen of the night come in and they push you aside, like they push you backward a little bit, and now they have stepped in between you and her, fending with every ounce of life that they have. We're going to jump back to you in a moment. That was a really good start. What are you three doing?
I want to leave because this. Yeah.
And you can now hear combat outside. You can hear fighting in like the middle distance.
All right. Taking out my what's that? The Drokar.
Drokar, the longbow.
Yeah, I'm taking out my longbow.
Okay. It feels really good in your hands. You haven't used it yet, but you're really excited to.
So I'm ready. I'm going outside.
I just heard you snicker at me say it feels really good in your hands.
I'm going to run towards the army, the approaching army.
Okay, so you guys both run out the door. Nova, you were left alone with this very clearly dead Elvin's blacksmith and the armor that he had with him. That's now currently just laying on the ground.
So I'm going to put it on. And
It feels good. Like it feels like it was made for you, which it was.
I'm going to follow Cypher.
So at this point now, you're going to be like a minute or two behind everyone as you're struggling by yourself to put all this armor on. But eventually, after a minute or so passes, you run out following them. So you two are having this conversation.
Maybe you should put the gauntlet on.
What's gonna happen though? We saw what happened last time someone tried to put the gauntlet on. He exploded. He was gone. I don't want the same thing to happen to me, especially if we're gonna need me for this fight. So I may not have already destroyed it.
So for the sake of this, we're going to do our flashback now.
Okay.
So you are back in your tent. You are speaking to your god.
How do I destroy it?
Use what I've given you. The weapon that I've given you.
The axe?
The tether that you and I have formed can be used to destroy other tethers in this world, like the one in your pack.
So you just want me to take the axe and just hit it?
Yes,
That's all it takes?
that's all it takes.
Oh, that's easy. I just set the gauntlet out and just...
So you do like middle school kid in like baseball where you throw it up. No, you just smash that thing. There's this brilliant flash of light inside of your tent as this black axe that you've been carrying this whole time makes contact with the gauntlet and just splits it into, when the energy fades, there's just the axe still in your hands and the destroyed gauntlet on the ground. And now both sides of it are in your pack.
My axe is still intact.
Your axe is fine.
Okay, just make sure.
Yep.
So now we're back in real time?
Yeah, you're back in real time.
Yeah, so I kind of... And I just take the bag and I kind of like hold it open so that she can see, but not so that he can see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yes,
He's still struggling with whatever the second figure is up in the sky.
Yeah, so I may have already destroyed it. But so how is he still here?
Okay, so is there a way to get your god here to fight their god?
Yeah, the axe. He's tied to this axe.
And then you hear TJ, because he's come to you at this point. Holy shit, is that on Lana? Is she up there? And then we're going to cut again. To you, fighting with Riley and her two friends. So both of them now have spears out.
I want to fight them with what's already in my hand.
Throw a pen.
So go ahead and roll for attack.
14 plus 10, 24.
So that very clearly hits.
So I'm going for the head this time.
One of those.
One
it
of the
has,
men of the night.
Yeah. One of the men of the night for
One of
damage.
the Mennonites.
Alright.
Okay, 13.
So you strike him in the side of the head, and you can see, like, based off of that blow, where it actually takes off the left ear as well as a sizable portion of the cheek. So, like, flesh is now just on your flail, and there is now blood, like, streaming down the side of his face. He's still conscious, but he's kind of shaking away, like, this discombobulated feeling that no doubt would be accompanied with getting struck in the side of the head with a flail. They both struggle to land any blows, and neither of them are successful. One of them completely misses, and the second makes contact with your armor. You can feel this force, like in your abdomen. But there doesn't seem to be any damage or anything sustained from that. So you are still fighting with them, and Riley is now struggling to do something with her leg. It looks like she's wrapping some kind of bandage or something around it and trying to tie it off so that she's able to stand, essentially. So that's going to be the entirety of her turn. Go ahead and do whatever you're doing next. I'll give you 2 turns on this. Abdomen.
Do another
Okay.
23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Are you going after the same one?
No, I'll go for the other one.
Okay.
This time.
2 plus 7, so 9 damage.
Can I just go for his stomach?
Yeah. So you swing it into his stomach. He is wearing a little bit of armor, and you catch him in, like, the center plate of where that armor is, but the sharpened portions of your flail break through that, and parts of it, like, embed within his skin before you pull it back out. So there's a little bit of blood on the side, and there's now blood coming out of where these holes are in his chest armor, but he's still pretty good to go. So now we're going to go back to 3 of you guys.
Where am I closest to?
Yeah.
It's almost an equal distance from where you are to the hospital and to the shoreline. Roll perception, actually. Both of you.
24 for me.
I got 19.
As you guys are running out of the market, you see ahead of you above the hospital.
Okay.
Actually, you can make it out pretty well because you have dark vision.
Yeah, you can
and
just give me 3.
You don't, but with the flames that are being lit up around town,
You're
you
fine,
can
thanks.
see very clearly 2 figures up in the sky. One of them very clearly overpowering the other. You recognize that whatever this being is in the sky, that it has immense power to it.
Can I use my situational awareness to look at? I want to see if I can see this.
Yes, and also off to your right-hand side, you can see a skirmish taking place between the elves, the Goliath, and whatever the attackers
I want to
are.
go to this fight.
Okay.
We'll go that way too.
You guys both go to where she is?
To the shoreline.
Okay, so you guys break off going to the right side.
I want to run towards Arlana. How far are they in the air?
Not incredibly high, maybe like 30, 35 feet.
I'm going to run towards them.
You run across the village, and you reach your companions as well as TJ. And in that moment that you reach them before you're even able to exchange a word between you, the second figure in the sky, which you recognize immediately to be Arlana, falls. And as her body makes contact with the hard ground in front of you, her body shatters. The remnants of her face, and you can see this because that piece of her slides across the ground toward you, because now the ground is becoming ice, and the remnants of this face that you see looking up at you are frozen in a final look of fear. Frozen being the key word. The same cold energy responsible for taking away the warmth of her life keep the blood and entrails in place, so the rest of her body is just like a frozen statue that is shattered on the ground. You recognize that she's gone. There's no coming back from this. And TJ, looking out across this strange carnage in front of him, begins to freak the fuck out. And he pulls a rack from a concealed place along his back. If you guys remember the weapon that the Dothraki have in Game of Thrones, Khal Drogo.
Big scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
And he glares up at Balcazar, who is still floating in the sky. And he looks down back at Arlana's corpse. I would have destroyed all the gods for you. And he pauses for a moment as his eyes go back up toward Balcazar, still levitating. But today, I'll settle for just one. And the rest of you guys hear a series of whispers. You can't make out any of the words. And Balcazar just slowly begins to descend back to where all of his facial features are now very clearly in view of you. And you see blood begin to form in the empty sockets of the Lich's eyes.
I know that spell.
And it further intensifies the Lich's horrifying visage. But he continues to stare at the four of you. And this mad laugh leaves his mouth. And he just... Theodore. You hear this voice echo from all around, including from within your very heads. At least allow me to monologue for a moment. I did come all this way after all. And TJ just looks at him, absolutely terrified, because whatever he just tried to do had zero effect. What are you two...
Did I make it to the shoreline?
You're in the process of making it to the shoreline. You can see a battle taking place between... Actually, each of you roll me a perception check. You can see Riley fighting along with two of her companions with someone else, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
20.
Okay, 20.
Okay. You see Zira, the leader of the Order of the Eternal Flame that you guys had met in Thane's Stand, pulls out this longbow, and it looks like he's about to fire it towards Riley's position, and he is tackled by a very large Goliath who you recognize from behind. You realize, shit, that's my dad. That's Jorgen. And the two of them start fighting. You also realize through this chaos of bodies, Lizzie's face.
Oh.
Fighting with Riley and two of her simps. And Lizzie, it is your turn.
It's my turn.
Yes, so you're still fighting with these two guys. They both seem to be in pretty shitty shape,
Yeah.
but they're both still in between you and Riley and between your ultimate target.
Can I just be like, all right, you guys back here, you take care of these three. I don't want to deal with this right now. I'm going around them.
Go ahead and roll me an
Please.
athletics check.
Yo, if you get a 20, I'm a
12.
You're able to work your way around the one who you did really serious damage to, where his cheek and his ear are missing. And before he's able to turn to you, one of the other Order members locks into combat with him. So now he's distracted. The second one, though, as you're trying to worm your way past him, grabs a hold of your arm tightly, and he is now reeling back his arm to take a swing at you. He's still holding the spear in his hands, but he's only holding it with one hand. looking like he's about to drive it down into you.
There's so much shit going on right now.
Technically, with your arm held, it's considered a grapple, so you can try to break that grapple.
Can I do that? 18.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, +4.
Yeah, easily. You break free of his grasp, and he kind of looks shocked because he is considerably larger than you.
Yeah.
As you pull your arm free, he throws his spear your direction, but you move your head just last minute, and it whizzes right past you. He wheels it back, trying to take another hit. It is your turn.
Okay, I want to hit him again.
Okay, go ahead and roll for attack.
7 + 10. So
17 hits.
10 points of damage.
Oh, right in his face.
So yeah, you do smack into his face, and it actually blinds him, maybe permanently, but you're not sure, as blood begins to run down his face, and instinctually his hand drops the spear and both hands go to his face, and he's just fuck. And you now have movement speed, so if you want to move toward Riley or wherever, then you could make it 30 feet if you wanted to.
I just want to start running.
So you're passing her as
Yeah,
well?
I'm passing Riley. I'm going to let my minions behind you take care.
Okay, so I'm going to give her an opportunity attack. She rolls a natural 17. So as you're running past her, she pulls a blade out of her waist, and she takes a swing at you, and it glances against your thigh, and it just does 5 points of damage to you. You two
Yes, sir.
are arriving in the midst of this battle, as you see very clearly Lizzie running kind of a little bit off to your side, but she is running through where the battle is, toward where the hospital is at your guys' room.
Okay, I'm initiating Hunter's Mark.
You can do that as a
Yes.
bonus action. What else are you doing?
I'm gonna aim at her thigh.
So you get just within close enough, within range. How close do you want to get before you take that shot?
How far am I now? Because Hunter's Mark is 90 feet.
Probably 90 feet. Do you want to get closer before you take your shot? I don't.
Yeah,
think
I'll do that. I'll get
Okay.
about close enough so she doesn't see me.
Okay, so we're gonna say with your movement speed, which is only 30, you get within 60 feet of her.
Cool.
Roll for stealth quickly. We're gonna see if you can find a place in like the foliage to hide. Although a lot of it, like the green off of the trees, it's either falling off because it's dying, or it's just covered in snow as this thick blanket is now laying on the ground around you.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22.
You're in the titty.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna aim for the neck. How about
Okay,
that
there.
one?
There you
I'm
go.
gonna aim for the neck.
I
17.
just had FM.
Motherfucker! There is a curse on you preventing you
But
from
she's
hurting.
not a part of the group
Yeah, she's not
anymore.
part of the group.
She was a part of the group when the
But she
curse was
died.
initially cast.
She died.
No,
She didn't
she didn't
die.
die.
She was teleported.
She's right there.
She was teleported.
You can't hurt people who are part of that
You
group,
can't
who
hurt her.
included Lizzie.
But
God
she's not a
damn
part
it.
of that group anymore.
She was there when the curse was cast. Yes, her as well as any member of the Eternal of the Order of the Eternal Flame who were there when it was cast, which includes Zira and many of the other people who
Does
are currently
that
fighting,
include Jeff?
and Jeff.
He can't hit Balcazar?
Not directly.
Oh.
We're gonna say for the sake of this, let's roll with disadvantage because you're gonna try to skip those arrows off the ground to hit her.
5.
None of them hit her.
So wait, let me get this right. You're saying I'm useless. I'm saying I'm useless.
You just have to be creative with how you attack.
You can't attack your companions, or you can attack either side.
You can attack the assassins
Yeah?
and the spirit creatures.
Yeah?
I fucking hate you.
Your eyes are now scanning in the direction of where this arrow had just come from. You now see him, because you had to have exposed yourself to make that second shot.
Am I right at the water?
500 rounds.
You guys started off 90 feet, so you're 90 feet from wherever the combat is and her. So like 90 feet ahead of you is where everyone is fighting. 90 feet to your left is where she is currently running. And
Is most of the army still out on the water?
yeah, they're all fighting, including your father. And it's ice. They're all fighting on top of this sheet of ice.
Okay, I'm gonna run out to the water.
The water's edge is like half of that. It's like 45 feet.
So that's my movement speed. It's action, shape water.
So there are Goliaths, elves, and the army, which are mostly humans and like these black-clad figures, like you guys have seen before, and these aberrations. So they're all out on the ice right now.
So I'm gonna melt a square of ice and straight down to water. It's a 5-foot cube,
Where are you doing that?
right in front of me.
So you just melt the ice.
Yeah, it's a
There's
5 by
5-foot
5
cube of
square.
melted.
And that's my turn, because I've used my action to run there.
What the fuck are you up to? I'm nervous. Lizzie, as you hear this voice in your head, the voice of your Lord and Savior,
Go get stuff in.
Jeff or Balcazar, find the gauntlet, cast it into the portal, and our victory will finally be at hand.
And
You
stop
three.
bleeding.
My turn. Alright, guys. I need you to listen to me. I have a plan.
In front of you is your shattered mother's body.
Wow. And Nova just laughs.
All right, guys. All right, gang. I have a plan.
It's no time to mourn.
Well, in the beginning, she said she didn't care. Come on.
Okay, guys. I have a plan.
Okay, guys. I have a plan.
One step to the left.
She moves around the piece of her mom's
I have a
face.
spell. This is going to banish him for 1 minute. As I banish him, which is a minute, we're going to rotate and you guys can do whatever, but I'm going to put a glyph of warding on the exact spot that I banished him from, because he's going to appear in this exact spot.
He's floating still.
Fuck!
I thought you said he came down.
Yeah,
He lowered some of the distance, but he's still
off the
floating.
ground.
Yeah, he's still 10 feet off the ground or so.
Alright, never mind. I'm going to realize that you are the most important person, and I'm going to put a death ward on you.
Oh,
On you.
Aww.
that's sweet.
That's really good.
You destroyed the gauntlet, though.
So you cast this, and then Matixia's like, "You destroyed that. You know that, right?"
Thanks, though.
What are you two doing?
I guess we should, attack him, right?
Look at us. We're finally doing a fight and they're not even doing shit.
We should probably kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, as you two speak in these weird abstractions, TJ steps in between the two of you with this weapon still drawn and glaring down this god in the sky. He throws it. And as it leaves his hand, you guys can both see this weapon, once a single piece, now break into 3. And you realize it's not just this sickle kind of weapon, it's a series of daggers. The 3 of them careen across the now snow-filled sky. 2 of them are stopped in midair as they make contact with this ice shield that manifests between Balcazar and the rest of you. The third one narrowly avoids it and strikes him. There's a moment where all 3 of them are embedded in their various surfaces before all 3 fly back toward TJ. And that magical shield of ice disappears. All 3 of them continue this weird motion through the sky before turning into a single weapon again and returning to TJ's hand.
Whoa, isn't that what they carried in Game of Thrones?
TJ's just get your shit together.
To
We're
us or to
fucking him
him?
up. He's saying it to you guys.
I'm gonna do
No.
Firebolt. I'm gonna launch a Firebolt at him. Yeah, 13 probably doesn't hit.
Yo, bring his ass down.
So you fire this firebolt at him, and as this extreme concentrated beam of heat goes to reach him, it suddenly is cooled and dissipates into the sky. And he just looks down at you and he's like, "You can do better than that."
God damn it.
In that moment, each of you guys hear this voice in your head. And his lips, for each of you, you see them move in conjunction to the words that you hear in your head. And you see them move in conjunction with the words that you hear in your head. But what the 2 of you hear are very different. Both of you, on the onset, hear the same thing. You have proven yourselves to be resourceful. I'll give you that. You've also proven your willingness to be morally lenient. I would like to take this moment to extend to you an offer of allegiance. You are the ones responsible for getting me here after all, so it's only fair. And Matixia, you're a chaotic soul, restless. I've seen it in you since the beginning. Why else would you have stuck around, even after procuring all that money you currently have on you? With me, the world would be your playground, boundless. You could pick as many pockets, slit as many throats, eat as many people as your heart desired. Plus, you'd be keeping that girl safe. I know you care about her, even though you sometimes act like you don't. You hear, Dazaruk, you could follow a real god. Not that pretender who awaits imminent destruction. Once I get that gauntlet from you and cast it into that portal, It will close. There will be no magic but mine. No god on this plane but me. And the rest of you guys who are doing your own thing just suddenly hear this voice in your mind, the same voice that they're hearing. Thomir, your father is standing right in front of you. Make him proud. Save your people. Right now, you're a distant second to that Bone Spurs guy. You agree to join me, and I'll make sure to elevate your clan back to where they belong. Goliaths, nature's apex predator. Besides me, of course. And, Cypher, imagine the power of me having Vormir by my side. We would be unstoppable. Plus, would it not be great to have your first act as king being the salvation of your people? You would have all the women you could ask for. You'd be the greatest king Feykind has ever seen. That sounds pretty good to me. And Nova, staring up at him, I took care of your mom problem. That alone should be enough. Suddenly in your head you hear Jeff's voice, kind of sarcastically. If it makes you feel any better, I can ask you like this.
Oh, that pisses me
Join
off.
me?
Can I respond?
What
you
is
can say
he
something.
wearing? What is Balthazar wearing?
He's wearing most of the clothes that Jeff was wearing.
Oh.
Only like it's kind of torn in pieces. And he is still wearing that weird fucking hat with the feather now sticking out of the side of it.
What if you don't get the gauntlet?
I will kill everyone until I get it.
Oh,
So
You don't hear that.
I know.
what if we joined you, but we didn't have the gauntlet?
What?
So
Just
hypothetically,
hypothetically, what happens if you don't get the gauntlet?
As they are distracting him with, they don't have the gauntlet.
hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Can I run under where he's floating and put
Underwear.
Like on the ground?
on the ground? So when he does,
Roll for stealth. With advantage because you're getting help. Even though they don't realize that they're helping you.
16.
Yeah, as this whole
18.
thing is going on, you're able to sneak underneath him. He doesn't notice. Because right now his attention is split between like 6 other people.
so it's going to be explosive runes this time. With
Okay.
it's going to be acid
How long does that take to cast?
Explosive diarrhea.
instantly.
Okay, cool. So you just cast that underneath him, and you're able to obscure it in such a way where you feel confident that if he
Yeah, it's
lands
invisible.
in that area, then he's not going to notice. So just make sure to have that prepped in the event that happens. So what are you two saying?
Yeah, so hypothetically, what if the gauntlet no longer exists?
What?
Hypothetically.
Just
hypothetically.
what would be the what would happen?
We're playing the good old what if game.
Yeah,
You know?
just out of curiosity.
I need a tether to cast into the portal to close it.
So, would you become like closer to the losing side if you couldn't get the gauntlet?
The losing side would be those who are dead in my wake. I guess for the sake of this, whenever you hear this voice in your head from Balcazar, I can remove that curse. Because he's the one who cast it.
And what do I have to do? Suck his dick?
A simple blowjob will get
Will
you what you
suffice.
want.
You just have to join him.
Do I gotta do like some sacrificial blood? Like,
You just join him.
You're joining.
so I gotta attack. I gotta attack like him. Yeah, let him go first.
What are you doing?
I'm going to cast another or shape water and melt another 5-foot square right next to the first one.
Okay.
And now I am going to cast control water or raise 100 cubic feet of water from underneath the surface of the ice.
What do you use for spell casting? Wisdom?
Yeah.
Go ahead, do me a wisdom check. Trying to see if the abilities that you have are more powerful than all of those who have ice powers. I just rolled a natural 20. Go ahead and roll.
20.
We did.
2 natural 20s?
Not a natural 20. I got a
17.
17 plus
Oh, okay.
3.
I rolled a natural 20 plus whatever my pluses would be.
I,
Okay, so you cast your spell as this 100 cubic feet of water begins to pool from out of where this hole is that you had just created, and it floats into the sky. What is it you wanted to do with it?
wanted to raise up all the way.
Okay,
And
you're
then
rising it up.
I'm dropping it on the people.
And you're planning on dropping it on the people, and as it's coming down, all of it freezes.
That's even better.
All of it freezes.
Okay,
So
the whole
what
army
you
just...
see ahead of you is it's almost like a mushroom cloud of water that is now frozen before it makes contact with the ground or any of those standing on the ground.
But it's in the
all
air, so it has
it's
to
all a
fall.
singular piece of just frozen 100 cubic feet of water.
It's like a big ice penis.
Well, it's like this.
It's
but
like
it
a
freezes.
big ice penis.
Yeah,
It's a
big
big
ice penis.
giant ice penis frozen in the sky. I understand you can still break the ice to make it fall, but it's all one singular piece that is now frozen.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fine.
So, and what had cast that was the various darker aberrations that are around the ice creatures that you had encountered before. And off to the side, you can still see where Zira and your dad are fighting, as well as various other Goliaths and a ton of other people. Cypher. Because you haven't had your turn yet.
I'm making a deal with the devil.
Okay?
Yeah.
You should have killed him.
What was the first one?
You don't know?
Find out. I'm gonna aim at Thamir's foot. See, I got a 4, bro. You're lucky.
4 doesn't hit.
Exactly. Oh, so it doesn't hit at all. What
You shoot the arrow and it kind of hits the ice and glances off and then just fires off into the distance, disappearing into the darkness.
You would have had to roll a 14 or higher to hit me.
Can't shoot again?
Yeah, you have 2 attacks.
No, shoot you.
12 plus whatever your bonus is.
No.
Plus 9.
Yeah, so I hit
So,
you.
yeah.
Let me ask you, for the sake of this, are your actions deceptive in any way?
Yes.
Roll for deception.
14.
Your arrow strikes into Thamir's foot, dealing however many points of damage that you would roll.
Roll for
And
damage.
this curse, you can feel this darkness that has been inside of you this entire time. Basically, the entire campaign suddenly disappear.
Roll for damage. I need to know how much damage I just...
1, bro! Got that.
1
One
plus
plus
whatever.
6.
Okay, you take 6 points of damage, and you hear in your head, you've made the right choice.
I get to do shit!
On to you 3. I like how the room is divided.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
He's still floating in the sky. Nova, are you returning to stand where your companions are standing after you place that ward?
Yes, I'm still standing there. Can I blind him?
You can try. What do I got to roll? 15 what?
Constitution.
He rolled a 14. There is this moment where his eyes, or at least where his eyes should be, you feel for a moment that he's been blinded, and then he shakes it away.
Of course.
And well, because he uses one of his 3 legendary resistances, of which
So he's got 2 left.
he has 2 left. He shakes that away, and you hear in your head, "You've made the wrong choice."
Oh yeah, let's do this.
You did just see Nova mouth a bunch of words, and it seems like she was trying to cast something on him.
Try another firebolt. 18.
18! That hits.
Oh thank God. 14.
14 points of damage. A firebolt strikes him center mass.
Yeah, that's right.
You hear this hiss as fire and ice meet,
Oh, so you
and there's like this steam that emanates from his chest. And you again hear this hissing in your head.
the only person.
I thought you were survivors.
No.
You made the wrong
We're
choice.
But she was
I hope I picked that up on the recording because that was really good. You guys missed it. Did you hear it?
No.
It said, Balcazar had asked, "I thought you were survivors." His response was, "No, we're winners." Get it, like from class.
Alright, I'll throw my javelin at him.
Not at all.
16 plus 7.
Dude, that hits.
Ooh, I rolled a 6.
13 did not hit.
Plus
18
3,
did.
that's gonna be 9.
The concentration that was required to keep Balcazar levitating in the air he no longer has because he has just sustained several attacks. And though he doesn't fall from the sky, he does gently land on the ground below him.
Oh,
Directly.
got it. You're welcome.
Directly below him. Any kind of saving throw?
Dexterity of 15.
He rolled an 8.
Okay, word.
He was not expecting this.
Where's
23.
Thank you.
There is a second
Emily.
thunderous explosion that
I
rocks the
underhanded
island
it.
as Balcazar erupts into like flames. And as they pass, he is still standing where he was. You do hear this that comes from where his legs are as it burns through some of his clothing. And you can see below that where there is solid bone and muscle that it is burning into, but his legs remain intact. You do still hear this sizzling.
Yeah.
We're going to Hannah.
Okay.
Lizzie,
Yes.
what are you doing? You see him as he looks at you for a brief moment and then turns and shoots at one of his companions, striking him in the foot. And you know where you need to go.
What was that about?
I didn't
yell.
hit you. I hit my buddy. I'm on your side.
You hit me. You tried to hit me first.
No,
though.
I'm on your side.
No, you tried to hit me first.
No, you didn't
So
see that.
what's going on now?
I'm on your
You're
side.
on my side now. Well, we gotta go find this gauntlet thing.
Let's go find the gauntlet.
Let's go find this gauntlet
Let's go
thing.
find
So
the
let's run
gauntlet.
this way.
Okay. So with that, the two of you go to find the gauntlet thing. Is that you go with her?
I go with her to find the
Okay,
gauntlet.
with your guys' turn, because it's hasted, that's what it takes to get to there. You guys ultimately go through the town. In the center of town, there's still that portal that you had seen the day prior. That is just, there's still a handful of guards guarding it, but they seem to be focused on whatever threats directly approach them, and they kind of just give you like a look as you walk or run past them. And with the entirety of your turn, that's what it takes to reach where the hospital is, where you see your god, Balcazar, in all of his glory. He's greater than you even thought he was. There's this explosion that erupts around him, and he just walks through it like it's fucking nothing. You see this as well, and you also see your companions. So that's what you see, that's what takes your entire turn. What are you doing?
I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt
That one's really
at the pillar holding the ice up in the sky.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
No,
Number to beat
those
13.
Two, but these are worse.
I
You know
rolled
where
an
the
18.
bathroom
Okay.
is, where you can
And
just
it's
go
also
there,
100
and it's
feet
like
long, so
a
anything
pillar, and
behind
also
it
you
is
shouldn't
getting
be
hit.
allowed back there, but you can
Indiscriminately?
Like the,
Yeah.
the beer cave.
You cast it, and this lightning bolt careens from your hands with this loud roar as it flies across where this battlefield is. There are some Goliaths, elves, and order members who just barely escape it, striking them. Barely misses them because you're not aiming at any person. You're aiming at the center of this thing. You strike it, and the energy from that lightning bolt, all of it, goes into where this frozen ice sculpture essentially is above the majority of where this battlefield is, and it travels. You can actually see it, and for a brief moment, it's kind of beautiful because you can see where the lightning is traveling through the water, the frozen water, up and around, and then all of a sudden it shatters. And large chunks of ice fall to the ground, colliding with everything in its path below it. You see several order members, as well as Goliaths and elves, fall under the immense weight of some of the larger ice chunks. You see various heads get cracked open, bodies fall to the ground, get buried in ice, and it adds to the overall chaos of what's happening. And it's electrically charged as well, so when it falls, it does a little
Also,
bit of
all the
electric
water
action.
under the ice is gone, so there's nothing supporting the ice they're standing on.
Correct. The ice is a bit thick, but
this
cracks.
is 784
Yes.
gallons.
So it cracks in several places. Nothing breaks at this point. None of the chunks are large enough to break through the ice that's on the ground, but you do see large cracks begin to form where all of this battle is taking place.
Did I take out most of their army?
No, but you take out several, but on both sides. Because it was kind of right in the center of where the majority of the battle was taking place. You see right now maybe 10 of them on the ground. You can't tell how many are actually down, or just knocked prone by the ice. So, but that's what you see. And now there is blood just flowing freely over the top of where this ice shelf is. The rest of you guys are at the hospital, or the remains of the hospital. We're going to say you guys get right there. What are you guys doing? So you're going to witness whatever they do, but you're not close enough to do anything yet.
How close is he to me?
20 feet, walking through the remains of the hospital, over the chunks of Orlana.
Alright, I'm gonna launch another firebolt.
My mom is doing it.
It does not. Again, you fire at him, and he just holds a hand up as the fire just dissipates before it reaches them.
Alright, his AC is higher than
You're
15.
beginning to piss me off. Dixie.
Passing you the 10.
Being pissed off is better than being pissed on.
Alright, okay. I'm hitting him with my axe. 16?
Oh, so you get right up close to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take a swing at him, and he grabs just below the blade of the axe and stares into your eyes and just holds your axe.
I have 2 minutes.
You do. He's still holding on to it, but we'll see how high you roll in this.
2?
No! With your free hand, you punch at his face, and your hand hurts.
Can I disengage as my bonus?
Go ahead and roll. You're going to see if you can wrestle your axe free.
17.
13. So you're able to pull it free, and it seems like he just lets it go. And he's like, try again. At the same time, from around you, you see TJ's blade again come flying around you and collide with parts of where there's still armor hanging off of this guy. And then it just returns again to TJ's hand. You just hear behind you, fuck. Nova.
I move closer to him within 5 feet.
Okay.
And so with my armor, my new armor, he's going to take 2 points of damage, of fire damage, at the start of each turn that I have.
So will Matixia.
Yo, I don't have that much HP.
So I'm going to roll stealth and try to get behind him. But does he get an opportunity?
Go ahead and roll for stealth. We'll see. Based on how low your roll is, he might get an attack on you. And we can say that you do that with your movement speed, so if you still want to use your action after, then you can try.
1? You rolled a 1?
That sure looks like a 1 to me.
You roll a 1, you try to get past him, and you fucking don't. As you were passing,
Please hit me. Please hit me.
he is going to reach out, and with that hand that was previously grasping onto her axe, he now reaches out and grabs with his grotesque hand, the one that you recognize as being the one on, like, the seal on all of the contracts that were out to kill you. You are going to take 15 points of necrotic damage as the area on your arm, on your forearm where he grasps, the skin begins to curdle away, and he remains just grasping onto your arm. It's like, I wish my men would have killed you when they had the chance.
Good. So he still takes damage, though.
He does. What is he taking?
5. And since I'm close to him, he takes an additional 2 points.
That will be at the beginning of your turn, so just hold on to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, on to you guys. Lizzie.
What do you want to do?
We need to help our god, don't we?
Yes.
So we need to pick either Emily or Tirza. Or their I don't know their names in the game, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So they're closer. You will most likely have to get past TJ and Tazarik before you reach them.
You do have range.
She's squishy. She's soft.
I use my crossbow on Emily.
What a bitch.
You can do that. Your back is facing her. You actually get advantage on this because it's considered a sneak attack.
It's a 6 plus 5.
11. Off to your right-hand side, you see as a crossbow bolt goes right past your ear and sticks into a wooden beam that is still standing near where the hospital is, and you're like, holy shit, someone just shot at me.
Okay, then I want to hide.
Okay, go ahead and roll for stealth.
5 plus 4, so 9.
Okay. There's not a whole lot from where you guys are standing. You kind of offline, but you're not entirely confident that where you are is enough of a position of advantage. Cypher, what are you doing?
So she got away from me, right?
You guys are running together. You guys
so
have
I'm going
entered together.
to-
She's off now to kind of your right-hand side. She just fired at Matixia and missed. Now she's trying to hide somewhere.
I'm gonna pull out my scimitar.
Okay.
Scimitar.
And I'm going to try and cut her throat.
Who?
What?
Whoa!
Okay.
Whoa!
Wait.
Go ahead. You're rolling with advantage.
I saw that coming from mine.
Yeah, I did too.
It was 8.
Okay, so 6 plus 8, so 14.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So 2 left.
So You, out of the corner of your eye, see a blur of movement in your direction. And you're able to raise your arm just quick enough to fend off this blow from the person that you thought was just working with you. You don't take any damage from that because it glances off the gauntlets that you were wearing. But he is now right up on you, looking to fuck you up.
Looking to fuck you up.
Fuck your
fuck
god.
you up.
I'm gonna run back towards the
there
left
was a
now.
joke that
Okay,
I found
confident
once, and
that
it was
your
like,
actions
"Come on,
have-
Tricky, and I need Frank to be a
It has essentially leveled the playing field a little bit. Turn around and head back. Hasted, I'm assuming. Nova. At the start of your turn, your Remoraz armor kicks in, and where Balcazar is gripped onto you suddenly begins to burn. It doesn't smell like burning skin because he has none, but he immediately lets go in pain. And he is forced to take a step back from you, and he takes those 2 points of damage.
Can I cast a Guardian of Faith in between me and him walking towards me?
Yeah, it happens like right in front of you because you were almost right up on him. So yeah, you conjure that between you and him.
And any creature hostile to me that moves to a space within 10 feet of the Guardian must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. If not, then he takes 20 points of damage.
Yeah, he fails. So this creature just pops up in front of him, and that presence that you have felt, you felt it at the inn in Kent. You felt it a handful of times since then. It is with you now in this moment more than ever, and it wills into existence this additional creature to help assist you. It doesn't even take an actual strike at him, just the energy that comes off of it flies into him. How much damage? You said 20?
20 damage.
That's a lot of damage. Good job. It flies into him, and he actually has to shield his eyes, and you hear him just say, Gaia. And he looks almost through the creature between you and him and just stares into your very soul. Tazarek, it's your turn.
I'm going to rage first.
Okay.
It's my bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run up, and I'm going to attack him. I'm able to get to him, right?
He's essentially standing within the ruins of the hospital because he came up and then he came right back down. Based on where everyone is standing right now, you do not feel confident that you could reach him with a melee attack because you can't go around the 3 people between where you are and where he is. You do realize behind you, Cypher and some other figure have arrived, one of which just shot at Atixia. You can't quite see where she had retreated to, but you have not caught a glimpse of her detailed enough to recognize who she is.
And because they're all in the way, I probably can't get a ranged attack on him either.
You can, but it will be rolled with disadvantage. If it's a low number, it will hit one of your companions.
Are we considered in stormy conditions right now?
Yes. Cool. Yeah, so at this time there are thick clouds that have arrived. Snowfall is very heavy. It's still nighttime, and the snow is falling fast and heavy.
Alright, well, one of the people behind me is trying to attack her. So I'm going to assume that it's not a friendly. And I am going to... How far away are they from me?
20 feet.
Alright, I'm going to run up to that figure and attack with both of my hand axes.
So you turn the corner just wide enough, like you pie it. Just wide enough. And now you are next to Cypher. See her, you realize, shit, this is Lizzie.
Wait, can I speak to him? Like, because he's...
As a bonus action on your turn.
So I can say something?
On your turn.
Based on context, like, I can tell that it was a crossbow bolt that went flying past me.
Yes, we did see that.
I know that he doesn't have a crossbow, so I can assume that it was her who attacked.
Yes, and you see his scimitar is actually out right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna attack her with my 2 hand axes. 25 and a 13.
First one hits, second one does not.
11 damage.
Matixia, your turn.
Alright, I'll hit him with my axe. Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Okay, so the first one doesn't hit. The second one does hit, I think. 22. 8.
As you strike out at him again with your battle axe, he looks back at you and points. And then that finger just turns into one of these. And suddenly you find yourself engulfed in, it's almost like flames, but it's like cold. They're just cold blue flames that engulf you, and you take 14 points of damage. Oh shit.
Then I can disengage and get out of there.
Yes. Yeah, these bluish flames quickly subside. Like, you feel burned, but it's kind of like when your hand is out in the snow for too long. Okay, and TJ now is going to come in full fucking bore. He's pushing past you, but he can't quite get to him during that turn. He is going to lash out once. Normally he'd have 2 attacks, but he's spending a lot of that time trying to push you aside. But his attack's not able to find its purchase between you and him.
Man, he sucks.
Lizzie,
Yes.
it's your turn.
I want to go at Jack with my repentance.
Fuck yeah.
So 20 to hit. 9 points of damage.
I see that.
As this flail just finds itself.
Bludgeoning damage?
Yes.
That's halved.
Oh, because you're raging. So his muscles are fucking huge right now. And because of how swole he is not able to take quite as much damage when you swing at him.
Half rounded down or up?
Half rounded up.
Period.
Okay, so 5.
Oh wait, extra surge. You can
Yes.
take 1 additional action on your turn. This can be 1 per short rest. So you can do 1 extra attack right now or save it for later.
I want to attack him right now.
Yes.
8 plus 10, so 18.
That hits.
8 points
No.
damage.
Extra attack. You can attack twice whenever you take the action attack on your turn. You can attack
Does
twice.
that count?
Oh.
You can attack 3 times if you'd like.
Okay, I'd like attack again.
So that was 8 points, so 4, Jack, since it's bludgeoning again.
4.
13 plus 10, so 23. 6 plus 7, 13, so...
Yo, he's our tank. Stop hurting him.
Jesus Christ.
But he
Okay.
attacked me first.
So that was 3 hits subsequently?
Yeah.
They all hit?
Yeah.
Okay. Turning back on him, you just return the favor. And you, to a degree, fuck him up. Several times her flail finds purchase through your armor, into your skin, through your hide. This chick is a lot tougher than she was the last time you would encounter her. We're going to come back to you, yeah, because you're spending your turn running and then
should
stuff.
try flirting
Okay,
with
so
her.
That's true, you two had a thing.
Seduce her.
okay, so
My charisma is very low.
so I have the scimitar and the short sword because I'm
So roll
I'm
high.
some two-handed weapon.
Yeah, you can do that.
All right, I'm going to attack Lizzie. Oh my god.
Kill her!
So
Oh.
17 for the
Oh,
first
yeah.
sword. 17 plus 8 as well.
Go ahead and roll for damage on both.
The first one was 2 plus 5, so 7. The second one was 3 plus 5, which is also 8. So 7 and 8.
Okay.
15.
Oh, on a hunter's mark.
And Hunter's Mark, roll an extra 1d6.
Okay,
4
so
points
4.
minus that.
Yes, it is your turn.
How far away am I from the Lich King?
When you were first coming up, you see off to your right-hand side, there is a rock where 2 of your companions and Lizzie are currently fighting. And a little bit past that is where more of your companions and Balcazar are fighting. But Balcazar is kind of tucked into the ruins of the building. You don't have a good view on where he is.
I don't have a view.
You do from where you are.
Okay, can I use my bonus action to dash and get a good view on him?
Expending a key point to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to use it to use Step of the Wind
I play classic.
to dash as
But you should
action
tell
as
her
a
that
bonus
on
action on your turn.
She would probably be impressed.
Even with dashing, the only way that you can approach where your target is by pushing past your companions.
I just want a visual.
Yeah, you can catch like glimpses of him amongst him fighting. Because right now there are now 4 figures, 4 of your companions between where you are and where he is. So
All right.
whatever you want to do, there's a chance that someone might get in between.
I am going to
should play
call
a drinking
lightning.
Okay.
Storm cloud appears in the shape of a cylinder. When you cast the spell, choose a point you can see under the cloud.
So that point is going to encompass some of your companions.
Well, I'm not.
As long as they survive a dexterity saving throw, I'm still going to call it.
Okay. You do that.
See,
This cylindrical cloud pulls itself from the rest of the clouds in the sky above as this large lightning bolt comes down, targeting that one position where he is, but it goes off and hits various other people as well. What's the saving throw?
dexterity of 15.
What?
16.
Fucking
What
bitch.
the fuck?
It still does half damage.
Do I need to roll it?
35 damage, and then half for...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 15 plus
So, like,
2,
18?
17.
You dodged it, so 18 points still, but
It does 18 points of damage on me.
Yep.
You piece of shit.
It also hits
Nova. Do, dexterity saving throw.
as well as your...
You're literally going to kill me.
As well as the thing that you cast.
You know that it's a problem to kill your allies, right? It registers that is an issue in your brain. Because he's
Okay,
dumb.
so I
is the
survived,
reason.
but my dude did not.
Oh, I thought it was just a shield.
Well, no,
It's an actual creature.
Oh, okay.
He just disappears into smoke and sulfur.
You're killing your allies.
Thamir. What is... Never mind. Natural 20.
Kill him.
You
Kill him.
take... Focus completely on what's happening in front of you. You fail to notice Zira approaching from behind you, covered in blood of the Goliath that he had to strike down in his way. Your father might not be dead, but he was fighting. Last time you saw him, that's who he's fighting. He comes up behind you and strikes you with a long sword, dealing 26 points.
I used Stone's Endurance.
Okay, so just 13 points of damage. And he is going to use... He has a second attack. I'm going to use that to allow him to disengage, and he's going to back off. And then he's going to say, I should have killed you in Thane's Stand.
I'm gonna run away.
Oh.
Well, run. I'm gonna disengage. Not run away. I think we should all just run away.
That didn't work for you people last time. I
I'm
hope you
likely
don't.
to be with the
You
healer
died.
of the
You
group.
almost died. You almost died.
Dude,
Running
Dude,
away
the
does not
only
work.
thing that's... Balcazar did
No, I'm
like...
talking about last time. I'm telling her
I
why running away
basically-
is not a good idea.
Balcazar did barely any damage to
Tazarek.
me. He did the damage to me.
Tazarek, does
This is
Balthazar have an asshole?
Is it? Wait, I'm sorry.
Tazarek, wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
I fisted the asshole.
Does 2 pass?
God damn it.
It does
It was
not.
an 18. Yeah, it was an 18, and then it kind of rolled back and rolled onto 2, and I was like,
Through everything that's happening with the mass of bodies between you and him, your eyes suddenly lock. And suddenly you feel
aroused.
aroused. You realize Balcazar is your Lord and Savior. He always has been. He's your friend. Why are you fighting against him? You feel this tug from somewhere else inside of your mind
Being charmed.
It's a glamorous
from
spell.
your other patron trying to fight. Actually, roll with advantage. Go ahead and roll me another one.
5.
But even him, even your patron isn't able to fight off this force that's overcoming you. And you realize Balcazar's like your best friend. This is Jeff, right? This is the guy that you've shared all these memories with, all these moments with. Why are you fighting?
He's not a good point.
You need to help him. And suddenly, all the people who were your companions up to this point are threats.
Kill Damir.
Lizzie's your friend. She was like friendly the last time you guys fought. And then you look over and you see Cypher. He's trying to hurt your friends.
He's trying to hurt your friends.
Cypher's always been kind
You
of a
know
dick
who
to
else is? Damir.
You do realize, though, in this moment of strange clarity, that your axe fits the description of a tether, the same way the gauntlet did.
I knew it.
And it was one of these objects that were offered by a god to a person from one realm to the other. And you recall Balcazar saying something to the effect of a tether being needed to go through the portal in order to close it.
Okay. I'm going to take off towards the portal.
Okay.
How far is he from the portal?
So you don't recognize that.
I'm
he's
just wondering.
75.
So it'll take him at least 3 turns to make it.
2.
My
He moves
walking
fast.
speed's 40.
Yeah. It's about 75, maybe slightly over 75 feet from you. There are some guards, elven guards at the portal, but you see him leaving suddenly. You don't know why. Do you want to make an opportunity attack on him? You can if you want to.
No, can I sneakily follow him?
You're still locked in combat with Cypher.
He's actually.
No, I don't.
Okay. So you're too distracted by what's happening with your one attacker. You can't focus on the second, so you run off. toward the portal? Are you just making it 40 feet? Are you running toward it? What are you doing? You can reach it in one turn if you're hasted.
There are guards, right?
There are. There are two of them currently standing in front of it.
How
Their
close-
eyes now locked on you because they've been watching this fight,
How
but
close are they to each
their
other?
goal is guarding it. They're fairly close, maybe like 10, 15 feet from one another. One of them is still occasionally looking toward the shoreline where a lot of this other fighting is happening, but for the most part, their attention is on you guys because you are the closer action that's happening to them.
So I'm gonna run 40 feet, and then I'm gonna do Scorching Ray. So I create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range, and the range is 120 feet, so they're well within range. So I can do one target or several, so I'll do 2 at one and 1 at the other. 14, 8, and natural. Plus 5, so 19, 13, and
First 2 hit, the last one does not. The last one actually goes straight into the portal and it just disappears.
So we'll say 1 hits each of them then.
Yeah.
Say it was 1,
Sure.
2. First guy takes 4, other guy takes 7.
So both of them get hit, and you hear them as you're approaching them like, fuck, we're on the same side, what are you doing? Doesn't seem to do any serious damage to either of them, but now both of their attention is on you as you're approaching. It's your turn.
I'm going to stealth. I'm gonna get as far away as I can, and I'm gonna take a health potion. I'm probably gonna take a greater health.
And go ahead and roll
Here's 2.
stealth as well when you get a chance.
I have full health. Okay. 27.
You're on deck. You feel confident in the position that you find a section of trees across from where this destroyed hospital is that you
It's funny
feel like
'cause
no
no one
one
else
spotted you
knows.
and you feel pretty concealed.
I mean,
Okay.
So back to where you guys are. TJ is pushing past you because you had backed up and then he came in after you. So now it's clear from where he is to where he's targeting. And now instead of throwing it, he's going to be wielding it like a melee weapon. And he's going to get one good shot on him. And this blade now, one single piece, he strikes it into Balcazar's chest. There's not blood that comes out of him, but you do see bits of frost begin to form on the blade where it had hit, as well as some smoke rise into the sky. And TJ's like, I'm gonna fucking destroy you. And Lizzie, it's gonna be on to you.
I just attacked him, but he's running away now.
And now he's running away.
So, and I want to kill him. So I want to use my repentance on him.
oh
Good
god,
night,
this
guys.
dish is
You
hard.
got it.
Okay, so 10 plus 10, so that's 20.
Oh yeah, that hits.
So 2, so the 7
What
here.
does it say?
Yeah,
1d8 plus 7,
Yeah.
yep, so 9 points of damage. And you get a
Yes.
second attack if you want it.
Okay, so 13 plus 10 is 23. And then my 8. So we have 8 plus 7. And then what were you saying about me possibly getting more HP or whatever?
So as a bonus action, I think you can use Second Wind. That's a 1d10 plus something.
Yeah, you can only use that once though.
One time for rest.
Short rest,
Short
yeah.
rest.
7 plus 8, so 15 points of health you restore.
That is now this religious weapon versus
Wait.
your scimitar. Balcazar is going to cast Power Word Kill, a 9th level enchantment spell. So any creature that he casts it on that has 100 hit points or fewer automatically dies. And TJ, with this look of confidence on his face, that look suddenly disappears. It's not like he takes any physical damage. It's not like it looks like he sustained a weapon wound or even a spell. The life in his eyes just fades as Balcazar whispers something that Nova, go ahead and roll for perception.
18.
You hear just enough because you're close enough. He just says, "Join her," and the life in TJ's eyes fades, and he falls backward into the snow. The weapon that was in his hand ultimately falling into the snow next to him. And Cypher, now it is
He
your
just
turn.
said join her.
I'm gonna swing at her again.
Oh, nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Damn.
12 plus. That would be the second weapon, so it would be 18.
So both of them hit. Roll for damage on the first, and then double it.
So 8, 16 points on the first one, plus whatever. Is
Oh,
it
I also have Hunter's Mark.
That's an extra 1d6 on both hits.
And 6. Plus 26.
26?
26
That's
points of
what they
damage
call
total.
it in
Yes.
Canada.
You take 26 points of damage
A timber.
Jesus.
as this scimitar
24
breaks its way
pack
past
of
your
beer.
defenses, Finding purchase several times all across your body. He is moving with blazing speed.
Hey, my turn?
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
It's
Okay.
now you and Zira.
I saw Jack attack the guards, right? I mean, he would have had to run past
He would have
me
had to run past you. Roll for perception, but roll with disadvantage because Zira is currently attacking you, so you have other things on your mind.
Crit 1.
You see him run past you. You're confused as to why, because he's running away from the battle, but that you don't see where he goes.
I'm still gonna do it. Dispel magic on Jack. Change any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability.
Do an ability check, because this is a 5th level spell.
I pass.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 17 plus 7, so that's a 24. And the DC was a 15.
I was going to have Balcazar cast a counter spell, but he wouldn't have seen you do this because he's locked into what's happening with them. So, Tazarek, you suddenly feel whatever hold, whatever spell was cast on you suddenly fade away. And the weird clarity that you had before gives way to a more reality-focused clarity. And you realize, this guy's not my fucking friend. He's a phony.
He's a phony!
Where you're standing right in front, there are 2 elven guards about to attack you.
Just attacked.
With
And I'm
you.
going to use my bonus action to use an unarmed strike on the dude that's next to me.
Okay,
Wow, you have to drive us home.
18 plus
I'm not drunk.
that hits.
5.
I don't get drunk off beer.
It's not beer.
Alright, so 2 points of damage plus my
that is considered big.
ring.
Roll your percentage die.
So much
87.
Roll for damage.
What?
Dear,
I'm so mad at you. The number to beat was 85%, and you rolled an 87.
28 points of damage.
He
Was
gets the
a constitution of
opportunity to roll.
15.
He rolls a 15. So you strike him, and it actually blows off bits of his armor.
So Emma
And
has
he
a-
grunts loudly at you, but he still holds his weapon,
Good thing you were both there.
and he's not moved back in any way. Nova, it's your turn.
So
You did
I'm
that,
going to run towards the trees.
He'll get an opportunity attack on you.
What?
Yeah, because you're like right there.
Alright. Let me. I'm going to do my spiritual weapon, which is
You like
a
ranch?
spectral, like, an icicle, basically a huge icicle.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
I rolled a 1.
A natural 1. So
She does.
you attempt to use this ice spike that you have just conjured from thin air, and as you are swinging toward him or making the stabbing motion toward him, it just shatters, and he's just like,
Come work at
"I
mission.
control the ice, idiot." Kazarin,
I'm gonna
I have a
like
meeting on Monday.
coming out of the daze and seeing the 2 guys I just
My
attacked.
mom's friend.
I'm gonna.
So we'll see.
Sorry guys.
Well,
I was
we'll
on
hire
the
you
spell. I
Yeah.
swear to God, I'm still in.
Roll for
If that doesn't
persuasion
work
with
out, I'll be
disadvantage.
reaching out to
As a 2.
So they look at
My
each
first
other for
session
half a
is Tuesday,
moment, and they're
9
like,
a.m. to 1:30.
Nice.
he can't be trusted. And then one of the guy, he has a spear in his hand where he was holding it initially like this. He throws it up, catches it this way, and then just hurls it right at you. He rolled a natural 20 on his. So you take 16 points of damage as the spear collides with you full force. The second one does the exact same thing, trying to copy his companion. He completely misses you, and after it is thrown wide, he pulls his longbow from his back and then draws an arrow. Yes, and we're going to say for the sake of this that was a bonus action, so you still have your movement and an actual action.
Like if I ran, they'd get an
My,
opportunity.
my
to attack,
alcohol is worn off by now.
You're not close enough to them for that to happen yet. You're still within like range, so you're outside of that 5 foot.
Right? Then I am just gonna turn and run. So
You did haste.
effectively, I could run back and attack her.
That sucks.
What the fuck?
That's correct, because you use your bonus action to try to talk to them, and then you ran, and then you
Okay,
can still do that.
I'm gonna do that. I'm going to run back that way, try to prove that I'm still friendly by attacking you.
I'm just imagining how weird this interaction is.
So when I get up to where she is, I'm going to do one with the giant slayer hand axe, one with the vicious hand axe. Like usual.
Yeah.
18 on the one and a natural 1 on the other.
Okay.
So the first one,
First one hits. Second one, which is with what weapon?
the vicious hand axe.
Okay. Roll for damage on the first.
9.
You took 9 points of damage. You didn't see this coming because this guy ran away from you at full bore and then turned around and then ran back towards you and attacked.
Damn, so I should have attacked him while he was running away.
The first attack hits you. The second attack, you're able to raise Repentance up in time to deflect the blow, and your vicious hand axe shatters as it makes contact with her religious weapon.
Yeah, that's what you
And it is now nothing but a handle.
Manage equipment and remove.
Yes, it's not going to help you very much right now. You're down to one weapon. Matixia.
Well,
Still stealth. I'm gonna search TJ's body.
That's going to be a full action.
That's fine.
The body is kind of close to, it's very close to where Balcazar is. Go ahead and roll for stealth, but roll for stealth with disadvantage, and then roll for investigation.
It's gonna be
I think you're a nerd.
16 for stealth.
Oh yeah.
16 for stealth, okay.
21.
Okay, so rummaging through his body as quickly as you can, you find a series of notes, some of which contain the same kind of paper, the parchment that you've seen on the contracts from before. And you also find a coin purse. You're not sure how much money is in it yet because you don't want to take the time to count it because you're in the middle of a fight. But you also find the weapon that he's been holding this entire time. The one that is fallen off to his side. At that same time as you're picking up the weapon, you hear Balcazar's voice in your head. I see you. You're right in front of me.
Lizzie, it's your turn.
Okay, so I want to attack Jack with my...
Okay. So you're attacking the new guy. You just destroyed his secondary weapon that he attacked you with.
Good.
And you're doing something else.
So I want to attack him with my repentance again.
Killer.
Oh, shoot. 13.
That does not hit, unfortunately.
Alright.
So you take a swing at him with repentance, and
Period.
thinking that it's going to have a similar effect to what it had in the last weapon, you take a swing at him, connecting with his other weapon, which is your Giant Slayer hand axe, which is currently imbued with the power of Zirdak. And there is this loud ringing in both of your ears, although no one else can hear it. It's just within your ears. And whatever weapon that he has is just as powerful, if not more, than the one that you're wielding.
Alright, might as well.
5 plus 10, 15.
Right.
Okay. Your second attack strikes true, so go ahead and roll for damage.
10.
10 points of damage.
I have a higher armor class
So
than you.
this second attack, you bring your weapon in, but then you like drop it a little bit lower and then bring it up, kind of like into his chest or like lower ab area. But he is wearing armor around that, so he takes damage. You see a little bit of blood from where that attack was, but nothing causing substantial damage. Your turn. Yep.
Why didn't you ask?
20 and 17.
Both of those hit, unfortunately.
I gotta kill you, bro. Sorry.
Kill me?
Yeah, I gotta kill you.
Oh, why?
What you mean, why? With Hunter's Mark.
Yeah. Or
In
plus
the
4 is
game.
14 on the first one.
3.
3 plus 4 plus 4.
Trevor and Frank
You're
with
dead.
a
I'm
snake.
Okay.
Okay, so actually, this is your point where you ask me, how do you want to do this?
How do you want to do this?
Okay. I want to do it disrespectfully.
And I'm sorry in advance.
I want to use the scimitar.
Scimitar.
Scimitar. I want her to. I want to take limb by limb. Arm, left leg, right leg, and then I want to take her head off. Disrespectfully.
God.
So, as if butchering a cow, he takes you into several pieces.
That is not how you butcher a cow.
You take it off the lip, you leave it alive, you take it off the lip.
Maybe that's not how you look at it now.
Lizzie, there is this brief moment where you recall the journey that you had taken with this group to the Bone Spar Mountains. This is before you started playing. But
Maybe I didn't.
you recall the curse that was placed on him. You recall basically your entire life up to this moment. Everything that led you to here, to now. And you don't regret a thing. And you realize that even with your death, maybe because of your death, your Lord and Savior, Balcazar Thane, is going to reach his goal. And though your death is brutal, as he dismembers you, you wouldn't have it any other way. Because you realize that there's a life beyond this one. And even with the last of life leaving you, you feel content with your choices. And then darkness takes you. And you find yourself in that same place that you had found very briefly when Jeff had teleported you to whatever realm that was. And in the darkness, there is a presence with you. And you're not alone. Thank you for playing.
I had a great time. I'll stay a little bit longer.
That was the kill I wanted to do so bad. But I couldn't hurt any of my teammates.
So, in pieces, Lizzie falls before you. It is you and Tazaruk and the rest of your companions are fighting off to your side, but one of them is currently locked with the leader of the Order of the Eternal Flame, the one who had ordered, if you recall, that curse being placed upon you in the first place. 0.
She's so fresh.
So
You still have movement.
I still have movement? You know what? Okay, I'm gonna go help.
Okay, so with the rest of your turn, you run over to where he is? Yeah. Okay, so now it's the two of you versus 0. It's your turn.
Alright, I'm going to attack 0 with my Warhammer.
Okay.
19 plus 5.
Oh,
Yeah, are you done hurting your allies?
Yeah, please don't do no more
I need to know
AoEs.
that before I fight again. Or you're on your own.
2 plus 1, so 3 points of damage with my Warhammer.
Okay, he is able to bring his weapon up in time, quick enough to stave off the majority of the blow, but still, you drive it into his chest, and he takes a little bit of damage. There's a bit of a grunt that accompanies that.
I'm going to use my bonus action to call down another lightning bolt on Balthazar.
You can do that. Go ahead and roll for damage.
So hard.
15
You
points.
guys bullied me into not backing up.
15 points with, if he doesn't get a save.
17.
So he takes half that, so 8 points.
16.
8 points of damage.
I don't believe
As this lightning bolt descends from the sky, yeah, it's your turn.
Fucking asshole. So now I know what Geass is, because I used to watch an anime called Code
I don't
Geass.
like the.
So, a Geass means that I place a magical command on a creature that I can see within range, forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from some action or course of activity as I decide
Okay.
for 30 days straight.
What is the saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw of 15.
What does he want to tell him to do?
You're not allowed to fight your adversaries anymore. I can't kill him or something that would result in him.
16. So he just looks at you for a moment, and there's like this weird pause, and he's just like, "Oh."
Fuck, that would have ended the game.
Me!
It's your turn.
He just annihilated her. So now I'm standing with a bunch of body parts. How far am I from
What are you doing?
Balthazar?
25 feet from you.
I'm gonna rage when I bonus action.
We could think about something.
Because I had cast a spell, so I had to unrage. Not raging again. I only have the Giant Slayer hand XL.
It's just a
I'm gonna run up
you
to
don't want to
him
accept it.
in my rage.
I have to talk to Fernando.
And I'm gonna attack him twice with the Giant Slayer hand. 15 and 13.
Neither of them hit. So as you run up to him and you attempt to strike out at him, he looks at the weapon, and in your head you just hear, "Oh, thank you."
Don't like that.
Your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna equip TJ's weapon.
Yep, that's a bonus action.
Can I hit him?
Fuck yeah, you can hit him.
Okay. You said it was my
You
bonus action to
do.
equip.
Yes,
So I can hit him twice.
That's
I just
correct.
can't disengage.
that's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna hit him a ranged attack. That's 21.
Wielding this weapon better than TJ did this entire battle.
Okay,
You chuck it as it splits him again into 3 parts.
I'm gonna roll again. That's 12. So
Okay.
one hits, one doesn't.
Yes, we'll say, for the sake of this, that since it's your first time using it, you weren't anticipating how fast or slow it would return to you. So for this turn, you just get the 1 strike on him, because the second one wouldn't have hit. So you hit him once, and then it comes back together, and you catch it. But go ahead and roll for damage.
It's 17 and roll Constitution.
16.
It's just 17.
Okay. Your blade, as it flies into him, all 3 of them slice him up before returning to your hands, drawing, again, not really blood from him, but you see a lot more of this smoke and steam rise into the air, and it looks like he is severely injured at this moment. He looks across the rest of you and looks at you, Tazarek, and he says, I'll be taking that. And he reaches towards your weapon. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
11.
You take 64 points of damage.
Well, I'm down.
As, like with what he had done before, I hate how this is worded, but it's necrotic damage, just courses through your body. It's a pain like you've never experienced before. And it says, you send negative energy coursing through a creature you can see within range. So basically, this energy is like really negative, man.
Meaning it's not there, so it's not real.
Yeah, right. It's not negative energy, it's just positive. You just get points. You get extra. No, it steals whatever life force that you had in you as you fall to the ground as a hollow husk. This kind of energy seems to be consistent with the kind of energy that Hannah Maxwell had sustained from the gauntlet. Somewhat similar. And you fall to the ground, and with his bonus action, he lifts your weapon from where you had fallen. He's going to...
doesn't he have the reward?
Yeah, he has
That's worth
Yes, he does!
Here's a...
Good job, bro. I love you.
Great job. So
I'm at 1 HP.
he grabs the weapon. He doesn't take it from you. You were still both holding on to it. We're moving on to you.
Alright, then. Same thing. I'm gonna attack. Scimitar and short sword. Was that 14, 13?
13.
Okay.
Me too.
The first attack does not hit, and he looks at you. Hello, Cypher. But just as he lets out that second word, you strike him with that second one, roll for damage. You did not transfer your hunter's mark over to him.
How do you know that? How you know I didn't do that?
You say you did that. The person that you had your hunter's mark locked on is now dead.
Yeah, but
As your bonus action, you can transfer it.
it does transfer. It does transfer.
You are transferring it? You have to say it.
Well, it says automatically. That's why I'm assuming.
Does it say automatically?
I'll tell you right now. If the target drops to 0 HP before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to mark a new creature.
Correct. So are you using a bonus action to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. 14 points of damage. So you were locked into this fight with Zira, and out of nowhere, Cypher comes in to save the day? Cypher, what? You're still just an annoying prick.
Suck my dick.
Alright, I am going to use my Warhammer on him again. 2 plus 4 plus 1, so 7. No. Then I'm going to use a bonus action to hit with unarmed strike. Nat 20.
What was the damage on that?
2 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, so it just doubles the 4. He blocks your first attack, and then you drop one hand off of your two-handed Warhammer, and you just sock him in the face. There's a little bit of blood running down his face.
Did I
and
break his nose?
You hear a crack, but it doesn't look visibly broken. It is bleeding, though, and he looks at you and just smiles through the blood. You're going to regret that. And he pulls out his weapon, unlocked from yours, and he drives it into your stomach. He rolled a natural 20 on that.
Fucking bitch.
You take 20 points of piercing damage as his weapon sinks deeply into your midriff. And as a bonus action, he's going to disengage and start backing up from the two of you guys.
I'm with you.
Maybe I should have hit him with my other hand.
Okay, so that is all you guys. Nova.
I am going to, every time I heal somebody, right after I die. Or I get knocked out. Let's hope that this trend does not follow me.
If we lose Taz, we're gonna have a tough time here.
I am going to touch Taz
Check my
to
eyes.
cure his wounds in the 4th level, so it is 4d8.
19 points. Alright.
Not much, but it's honest work.
Hey, that's better than I was before.
Balthazar is going to use one of his legendary actions. You suddenly are feeling pretty good, Tazarek. But Balthazar, still gripping onto your axe, looks at you and says, "You're weak. You're nothing." And he's going to cast Power Word Stun. Go ahead. Do you have 150 hit points or lower? You're stunned. That's crazy. It's not even. There's not even a roll. You can use a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of your turns to break free, but for right now, you're stunned, and your grip loosens on your axe as he takes it from you. And with that, he's going to begin moving away. Nova, you get a opportunity attack now on him. Melee attack. And he's going to begin moving toward where the portal is. Roll to hit.
Anything helps.
I did 5.
You take a swing at him, and he just, slaps it away. It's nothing to him. And he begins moving toward where the portal is. The portal is now 60 feet from him as he moves 30 feet toward it. Matixia.
I'm gonna do another ranged attack.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh, nat 20.
Fuck!
Roll for Constitution saving.
Right. 13 plus 1, 14.
22. 22 damage.
You throw your blades, and they dig themselves deep.
Did you double it for the nat 20?
Oh,
Fuck!
I did not. Also, that was only one. That was only one hit. I have 2 hits.
Yes. So all 3 blades embed themselves into his lower half, his legs, his ass, as he's going away. But and it sticks for a second, but then as if they are drawn to you, all 3 blades suddenly come right out, forming back into another single weapon, going back into your hands, and he collapses, and he is now trying to crawl to the portal. You have a second attack.
Okay, so that was 44. Should have been the damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
That really fucking hurt.
Oh, I didn't hit the second one.
Okay, with the second one, it takes a while for the blades to pull back out of them, so we're going to say, for the sake of this, that by the time it returns to your hand, that's a full turn.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna get a little further away.
Okay.
Just in case. You never know.
Okay. With the entirety of his turn, because it is now back to Balcazar's turn, he's going to be hasted, but he's wounded, so he's moving a little bit slower.
Word.
He moves as fast as he can to where the portal is and where the 2 guards are. And at that same time, I guess everyone, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Nat 20.
9.
Okay, you don't see it.
I know, I just didn't want to
15? You see parts of it.
9. 16 and 2 20s.
16, nat 20, nat 20.
Okay, so those of you with nat 20, 2 nat 20s on that? Holy shit. Those of you with nat 20s, you get a pretty good look at the battlefield, both what's happening directly in front of you as well as what's happening along the shore. It doesn't look good for the defenses. It looks like many elves and Goliaths have fallen. Though they've taken their fair share of attackers with them, many of the attackers have moved up from the shoreline and are making their way to the portal. So the rest of you see this full attack. Those of you who did not roll natural 20s, you guys see the 2 guards who are at the portal begin to make their way over to where the additional attackers are, leaving the side where Balcazar is approaching, unguarded. And he begins to move as quickly as he can to that portal. He winds his arm back to throw your axe into the portal. But right before he gets the chance to do so, a tiny humanoid figure tackles him, runs into him at full force, with a small axe in her hands. Abigail, the little girl, is hacking away at the backside of Balcazar. She didn't want to stay where all the action was not happening. So she came in.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna die!
She is hacking away at Balcazar's legs as he is falling to the ground. There are chips of bone and muscle and clothing going off to the side as she is just hacking away at him.
Take his ears.
But that doesn't stop the throw from happening. So, the axe flies through the air. Not as strong as it would have been had he not been distracted, but it moves. Tumbling, blade over hilt, toward the shimmering surface of the portal. It doesn't go all the way into the portal. It lands on the ground maybe 2 or 3 feet before the portal. But because of the ice and snow that's on the ground, it slides. and it breaks the surface, the plane, and suddenly the entire portal in the center of town disappears. The connection between you and Zirdak also disappears, as well as the connection between you and whatever this presence was the whole time, whatever god, whatever has been granting you your abilities, all of your magic users.
I'm not a cleric anymore.
Suddenly, you no longer feel the connection that you had to the outer planes. You're here, in this plane, alone.
So can I use Hunter's Mark?
And the only person still with magic in this world is kind of still laying on the ground with a little girl hacking away at his lower half. And you've never felt more alone in your entire life. He seems like he was very hurt before he threw it, and he doesn't have a turn or anything to deal with the little girl right now. So all of you have your own skills, but none other.
So Hunter's Mark is gone?
Hunter's Mark disappears. But you know your target. It's right in front of you. Those of you who rolled natural 20s and had the ability to see over the battlefields, you see anyone who is using any version of magic on your side of the battle no longer being able to use it. But the aberrations, these dark, smoky, icy creatures, are fighting harder now. They have not gone anywhere.
Do you guys want to kill ourselves in a group?
Group suicide? Jamestown?
We are now on to Cypher. You're still fighting Zira.
So, okay. I'm gonna swing and attack. 25. 5.
Plus 4.
Plus 4, so 9.
9 points of damage.
No Hunter's Mark. That's one hit.
Yep.
And here goes the second one.
What was that?
It's 12. Doesn't hit, so it doesn't matter.
Zira, though distracted by the victory so close at hand, everything that he's been working toward, he takes one very intense blow from you, and he's able to defend against the second one. And you two are now locked in.
He's almost dead. Can you kill him?
I'm trying. I'm gonna hit him with my warhammer again.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Crit one.
Fucking God.
Natural 1. So much of who you are as a person has been defined by your magical abilities. It's what made you different from the rest of your clan. It's what sent you on this crazy journey to begin with. And a sizable portion of who you are has just been ripped from you.
I'm in pain.
It's very distracting. And you take the swing at Zira, but your heart isn't in it. And he easily steps aside.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action to try and call lightning. Because it was already a storm.
Yes. Removing one hand from your warhammer and lifting it toward the sky, you attempt with every ounce of you to conjure, to call upon this energy. And you can't. There is a tiny bit of magical essence remaining in one of your hands, but nothing else. Just in one of your rings, because it was preloaded into that ring. But you sense nothing else. You're alone. Nova, it's your turn.
I'm so weak. I'm gonna retreat towards the trees and climb in the trees.
Okay. Roll me an athletics with disadvantage.
But Tixie was just in the trees.
There is. She was like hiding behind the trunks. You're like climbing up. Athletics with disadvantage. There is ice beginning to accumulate on the outside of the trunk.
You mean acrobatics?
Yeah, is that what I said?
Oh wait,
I say athletics?
no, it's
Yeah, acrobatics. I'm sorry.
17, 19.
Okay. So, despite this tree being very cold and very slippery, you successfully find your way to the top of it. From this new vantage point, you were able to see the battle below you turning very quickly along the shoreline. It looks like the attackers have almost overwhelmed the inhabitants of this town as well as the Goliaths. And it looks like more and more of them are moving toward where this portal is, about to gain upon where Balcazar's position is to be able to guard him.
Can I have a bonus action?
Yeah, you can have a bonus action.
I start screaming retreat.
Okay. You begin to scream that. It echoes through the village, and you hear cries of anguish and anger and despair rise up to meet it from various places around the town, from other defenders, other people in the watchtowers, other elves, people that you've grown up with, people you know. Tazaric.
I am stunned, so what do I have to do to break that?
Oh no, look what I've done.
Oh, Constitution saving throw.
19.
19, holy shit. That actually did it. It was 19 to beat. It was 19 to beat. So you shake yourself from this stunned feeling, and you find yourself with none of your original weapons. Like, you still have your other hand axe. You haven't drawn that yet.
I also have still javelins. I have 4 of them.
Right. But 2 of your main weapons are gone. One destroyed and one taken.
How far am I from the portal? I'm gonna move to 20 feet away from him and throw a javelin at him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
20.
That hits.
5 damage.
Your javelin sinks into his right leg, cutting clean through and embedding itself into the snow and ice and ground below, essentially pinning him to that location. And he looks up at you. There is this sense of accomplishment in his eyes, but you also see a hint of fear. Matixia.
I'm gonna do another ranged attack.
Roll as well.
Perception?
No. Roll to hit.
15.
Oh!
Finally!
Okay, so nat 20. Should I count what I rolled already, or
How about I just do this? How about I just ask you this? How do you want to do this? Yes. How do you want to do this? Yes. Because you were fighting Zira, you were throwing this at Balcazar. Both of you had the least amount of money on your contracts because neither of you rely on magic nor God. Both of you get the killing blows on the 2 people that you're fighting. How do you fucking want to do this?
Okay.
Wait, you have to do the final blow. Okay. How I want to do this? Alright, with the centaur, I'm gonna do my gracious kill. Fuck out of here. I want to get the little point of the centaur in his eyeball. I want to get it right in there. Okay. Be like, I see what you did. Now it's my turn. Use the other short sword and drive it in his other eye. and then at this point, I want to separate his skull.
Holy shit!
Okay. You're still holding your short sword in your left hand, yes. But there's a little bit of free space on your left hand because your right hand is the one with the missing fingers. You grab a hold of his head, including some of his hair, and that's where you're able to get that initial little bit of blade into his right eye. And then as it's there and you're confident, okay, this is fucking staying in place, you let go of his hair and he's just like, ugh, and you drive it into his other eye and you just split his skull asunder. Blood, fucking brain matter everywhere. He falls onto the ground. It's absolutely disgusting. You seeing this happening essentially right next to you, you feel really good about your next throw. Your first one misses, it comes back to you, but you're ready. And you throw the second one. How do you want to do this?
It breaks into 3 pieces. One's going into his face.
And Abby is still right there.
That's great. One's going into his face. The other one's going right into his neck. And then the other one's going into his dick.
Yes!
All 3 blades find exactly where you're aiming for as his mouth opens to let out this final guttural scream, but nothing comes out. He is gone. All 3 blades emerge from him, finding their perches back into where they're supposed to be, into your hand, as Abby, continuously, still on top of him, is just striking down. As she realizes he's no longer moving, she looks up at you. Did I kill him?
Give her that satisfaction.
Did I do it?
Yes, you did.
I killed a god. I can kill anything. All of the darkened aberrations disappear. And up in the sky, almost as if by magic, because that's how they got there in the first place, the sky clears, the clouds disappear, and the sun begins to rise. right around this moment. You didn't realize it before because it was obscured entirely by this thick cloud cover. And the sun rises over ice and snow, but you realize it's going to be thawing soon. The Order members and the Brotherhood, realizing that they're losing, turn and begin to flee, but they're no match for the elves with their longbows. Takes them out as they're running across the ice.
Hell yeah.
The Goliaths, those who are still around, clear off many of what's left of the battlefield, including your father, who, wounded but still standing strong, destroys many of them. You've won.
I'm gonna go pick my hand axe back up because it's still there, right?
The
Giant Slayer hand axe.
Oh, it's gone.
I thought when it.
The Giant Slayer hand axe made it into this portal, and the portal
so it
disappeared.
disappeared with the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's gone.
I got
The last thing connecting you to your people.
Except for the box that Matixia had pickpocketed off of you in our first session.
Also gone. Everything in your past that led you to this moment is gone.
Sad.
Damn.
Not only the past you left behind, but the god you had found along the way
Yeah.
also is no longer speaking to you. He's gone. This connection is gone. He's essentially, and you knew this in the moment that the portal was closed, not only were you separated from him, but he is destroyed. He was in the cracks between the realms, and when the portal closed, all the cracks closed.
Yeah.
He's gone. It's just you.
I start climbing down the tree.
Oh, yeah. You climb down the tree. I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You successfully climb down the tree.
Whatever happens to Ranger Riley?
She's still out in the battlefield, clearing up the last of the bodies. Her simp men, fortunately, have fallen, but she'll find others.
We're just simps.
They can easily be replaced.
I want to search the god.
Okay, go ahead and roll for investigation. You're searching Balthazar's body.
21.
You don't find much. A lot of the clothing that Jeff was wearing is still intact. You find an old coin purse, although not much in it. You find what used to be an old diary, although many of the pages have been destroyed in the battle. But the entire diary is written by Jeff. So it's of his past, of the life that he lived, or at least the life that he thought that he was living. He was just a pawn the whole time, but he didn't know that till the end. And you also find next to him, because he had fallen, this multicolored hat. And next to it, fallen off of the brim, is a brilliant eagle feather, now resting. It's still in the snow.
I'm going to search Zira.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for investigation.
20.
Okay. On Zira, you find many weapons. You find a fresh contract or series of contracts that had all of your guys' names on it. And again, to varying degrees of who wielded the most magic to who did not. You also find a old letter that was written to him from someone else. Something about lost love. Someone he cared about a long time ago, and it just didn't work out. You also find kind of what appears to be like an old business card. So, like written on it, although much of it is stained over time, about finding new beginnings in Thane's Stand. That's it.
I'm gonna cut off Balcazar's ears and give them to Abby.
So he's kind of like a lich. Doesn't really have ears. He has like little nubs, I guess.
We'll take those.
You take his nubs. They come off very easily. Riley comes back from the battlefield looking at all of you. Well, we fucking did it. Who wants a drink? Yeah? Drink? Drink? Drink?
No,
Drink?
I'm
Drink?
an alcoholic.
Sure.
Drink sandwich.
So definitely a drink. Points at the little girl. Drink? All right. Yeah, it looks like one of our buildings is still standing. Rounds are on me. And she leads all of you guys to one of the few still intact buildings in Eden.
I'm gonna hang back and pick up Jeff's body and build a funeral pyre and burn it and tell him it's not what you deserved.
Okay.
Sweet.
Is anyone else going to be there for that, or are you?
Yeah, I'll
the rest
stay
of
for
you
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with my drink.
Cypher.
Okay.
Okay. And Riley, she doesn't quite understand, but she nods and goes inside. I'll be in there just whenever you're ready. You guys see Zoe emerge from one of the houses and run over to where now both her dead parents are laying, and she just cries in front of them. Nova, you see this. You gather wood from across town, much of it from the destroyed hospital that it's not going to need that wood anymore. So you build this pyre, you put the body of Jeff, or the body of what used to be Jeff, on top of it.
You were alive, now you're dead. What's all that stuff from the Dwight Schrute funeral? You used to be.
You were 4'10".
Now you're 4'6".
So, nothing else with that.
Your
Further
hair
words.
was brown, now it's gray.
Further words don't really need to be said. You guys all know that he was one of you, almost until the end. Are you doing anything with the hat and the eagle feather?
I am keeping it.
Okay, so you guys set this fire ablaze, and it quickly melts the snow that's around it. In the sky, the sun rises over this impromptu funeral, and around you, more pyres are being lit of others who have fallen in this great battle. And after a couple moments, 15, 20 minutes, when the pyres have been reduced to ash, you all go into the inn. And we're going to return there in a moment, but first I want to know, where do you go from here? What do your characters do? What adventures would you like to take?
Put it from here.
Okay. The war is over. The defenses in Numeria are dropped, and you're able to find your city, your kingdom, relatively easy. What do you do once you get there? And who accompanies him?
I'll go with him. I got nothing better to do.
So it's just you and Tazaruk.
Mm-hmm.
He's not greeted very nicely.
No,
They don't like outsiders.
I understand.
Can I go? I'm an elf.
No, but you can go as well.
Only if I'm invited.
I'll make her my Secretary of Treasury, and I'll make Tazaruk
Can I be the queen?
I'll make Tazaruk my
You want to
Department
marry
of
him?
I
Justice.
don't want to marry him. I just want to be like his. You know
Okay.
how sometimes the mom is the queen too.
The Queen Mother.
You want to be his
Son.
mom?
Wait, listen.
Mom.
Listen, so like, I'm making her my Department of Secretary, and I'm making Tazaruk my Department of Justice, Homeland Security,
Okay.
Honcho. You're the chief of that, right?
You
You're gonna be a
accept?
special
You accept?
Yeah, why not?
So after much debate with the council, you're able to ultimately convince them to allow Tazaruk, and only Tazaruk as a special exception, this rare position within your government.
Like,
Is it possible? Is there like enough technology to get my 2 fingers back?
Looking over the blueprints that you had found in Kara's cabin, you're able to, because you're a scholar,
Yes.
you're able to understand the mechanics. These certain processes that she had developed over time to make certain kinds of metal. It takes you some time and the resources of your kingdom, but you eventually are able to build yourself a new set of fingers.
yes.
They're mechanical. They're really fucking cool.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to do? Are you content with that?
I'm content with being in the kingdom and having my head honcho over there.
Yeah. So you finally return to your kingdom to fill the role that your brother and your father had always wanted for you. You're a different kind of leader. You're not very much like those that came before you. And ultimately, you were able to, over the course of your rule, make your kingdom, through your own way, prosperous and different, more open to the outside world.
Kind of reminds me of Wakanda.
Kind of. You open up your kingdom to the world.
I like that.
Thumb.
Ranger Riley, is my tribe able to set up a life here with your tribe?
No. For the sake of this, roll for persuasion. And roll with advantage because you just saved everyone from certain death.
No, just 7.
7? Well, so I don't know if you noticed, but a whole bunch of our guy elves have just died, and you Goliaths are pretty big.
No, we're gonna head south.
Fair enough.
But she's supposed to be beautiful.
She is beautiful.
I've had enough with that with Lizzie. I'm heading south with my tribe. Can you provide boats?
We can. It's the least we can do. We don't know much about the land south of here, but we can provide you what we can. Maps, equipment, supplies.
To guide out of the woods?
A guide who doesn't want to kill you. A guide who doesn't plan to stab you in the back through the woods. You know, like, from what I understand, what that Tang Nightingale character did with you guys to get you here. Yes. As a matter of fact, I'll do it myself. Once, if you don't mind staying for a little bit, just so we can clear things up here, and then I'll take you. Your father is so proud of you because not only you've essentially saved them twice. You're taking them to uncharted lands, and Goliaths are at their very nature nomadic creatures. You're taking them back to their roots. You do find yourself more accepted than you were before, partially because there's no longer a magical aura around you. And that's going to take some getting used to on your part.
It's a good thing I took some levels in Monk.
Yes. But ultimately, you travel south with them into the unknown. You don't know what lays south, but you'll find out together with your family. Are you content with that?
Yeah.
Nova.
I'm going with Cypher, and I'm going to be part of his royal court.
I did mention before you saw Zoe.
I'm going to tap on her shoulder.
So at this point, she is almost alone. Her mother's body, with the help of the elves, has already been moved to one of the funeral pyres. Because her mom, though she was exiled, was well respected in this community. Her dad, TJ, on the other hand, was not. That's the reason why Arlana was exiled in the first place. And she is struggling trying to pull her father's body from the wreckage to one of these pyres.
So I can tap on her shoulder and ask if she needs some help.
You see, she turns toward you and there are tears, dried, some dry, some not so much, down her face. You look like my mom.
Because I'm a daughter.
No way, I'm her daughter.
Oh, that pisses me off. Yeah, I'm your sister, dumbass.
My sister?
Yes.
I didn't know.
I didn't know either until yesterday.
Well, this is awkward.
Do you want to come with me to the kingdom of Vormir?
I don't really have anywhere else to go. I didn't really think of where I go next.
Okay, you can be my slave. Just kidding.
Yeah, do you mind helping me just get him onto one of these pyres, and maybe we can talk about it in a little bit.
Well, I'm not up for debates. This is not a fucking debate. But I will help him. I will help you with your dad.
You are very abrasive, but that's okay because I am also very abrasive, and I think we're going to get along great because that's what happens when two abrasive people meet.
That's actually not true.
Quite the opposite. Together, the two of you pull TJ's body onto one of the pyres and light it, and she sits mostly in silence as she watches both of her parents burn, but whatever semblance of happiness, whatever version of happiness she can find in this moment, she finds having you by her side. And you can sense that. And she ultimately agrees to come with you. And she is partial elf, 3/4 elf. So they are still not taking very kindly to her being an outsider, but with Cypher's help, she's able to become a permanent fixture of the community.
Thanks, Cypher.
Is there anything else you want to do?
My pleasure.
Are you content with that ending?
Well, I use the money or the jewels that I have and give it to somebody in Vormir so that they can make intricate dresses so that we're like higher of status and we're just going to live off of the taxpayers' money.
And everyone in Vormir considers you to be extremely badass because of your cool Remoraz armor that you have on you that you killed all by yourself, as you explained to everybody. And you guys live large in Vormir.
When we reach the edge of the forest, can I kill Ranger Riley?
What? Okay. Okay. You take a swing at her, and she takes a step back. What the fuck, dude? What are we doing? We had like catharsis and shit.
I'm gonna attack her again.
Let's say, for the sake of this, that after a very weird battle in the woods, you eventually take her down.
Cool.
What else do you do?
We keep going through the woods. No, we're out of the woods at this point. It was at the edge of the woods.
Okay.
So we keep going south.
You just kill Riley and keep going.
Yeah, it was her fault I lost the armor.
And you whisper that to her as the last of light fades from her eyes. What the fuck? That was the leader of Eden.
And now they won't ever know what happened to her.
Yeah, because it was at the end. So your dad's like,
She deserved it.
Fair enough. Okay, and you guys continue south. Hedrick.
I already went. I went to.
What else do you want to do? That's it?
I'm living out the rest of my life in Vormir as their head of security or whatever.
You go to Vormir. You have that emblem of Gaia in your pocket. Is that something you keep? Something you chuck?
I toss it.
You recall a conversation you had with John and Kent, and how he had told you that your path doesn't have to be one with gods or with anything that's preordained. Your path is your own, and that includes whatever this symbol is. That includes any god. You're your own person, and you've made it this far. You're the only god you need.
Can I chuck it into the funeral pyre, Jeff?
Ooh, you can. Matixia.
I'm just gonna wander off, take the road less traveled.
Okay. You take Abby with you?
I'll ask her if she wants to come.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Okay, then we're just gonna go wherever looks cooler.
My mom used to tell me of a cool kingdom west of here. That'd be kind of cool to check out.
We can check it out. I usually like to stick to the woods, so
Okay.
we can check that out. And if it sucks, then we'll just go somewhere else.
More ears?
Probably.
So you guys ultimately go off on your own. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, I'm a traveler.
I'm really disappointed you didn't say return to Kent and kill Jerry. But it's fine. Jerry is spared. Okay, so the very ending. All of those things happen and more. But right now, the little rascals find themselves in one of the few remaining intact buildings of Eden, sitting around a cracked wooden table and toasting to your well-earned victory. Around you, the elven survivors are at work, already reclaiming their lives from what was once certain oblivion. But that is their burden. For you, the unexpected heroes, it's time to take a breath. The darkness has been defeated. You're exhausted, but you feel accomplished. There is catharsis here. Now, you've been through so much together. Months of stress and uncertainty, trials and tribulations. You fought back against nerves and overthinking, against self-doubt, against self-perceived physical limitations. It wasn't easy to get here, but you did it. Both singularly and together. And though your paths will take you on distant adventures, far from this place and these people, you will face other obstacles and new challenges. Though this will one day become a mere chapter in the story of your life, you will always have this moment. Because in this moment, you realize there is nothing better than sitting at a table, or on the floor, or at multiple tables and talking via Discord with your friends. The darkness has been defeated. The ice is melting. Outside, a single defiant daisy pokes its head through a section of snow, soaking in what it can in the sun's rays. Thank you for playing. Yeah,
That was like a double innuendo for cat.
it was meant to be. So, if you guys don't mind, behind the couch where Connor is sitting, there is a cardboard tube.
A sigh as the snowflakes cover my fallen brothers. I will say this last goodbye.
Like that.
Ranger Riley, is my tribe able to set up a life here with your tribe?
You fucking did it! Fuck you!
I'm just gonna take the road less traveled.
Under trees, through lands where never light is shone, by silver streams that run down to the sea. Under cloud, beneath the stars, over snow on winter's morn, I turn at last to paths that lead home. And oh, where the road then takes me, I cannot tell. We came all this way, but now comes the day to bid you farewell. Many places I have been, many sorrows I have seen, but I don't regret, nor will I forget all who took that road. Night is now falling, so ends this day. The road is now calling, and I must away.
When a thing gets electrocuted, it like lunges on lunges, you know, and that's what started happening, like a strobe light in the back, like
never light is shone by silver streams that run down to the sea. To these memories I will hold, with your blessing I will go, to turn at last to paths that lead home. Came all this way, but now comes the day to bid you farewell. I bid you all a very fond farewell.
The mountain town of Hallstatt is quiet. There is the occasional sob or sniffle, an indication that the people are still in mourning, but it's mostly silent. It had only been a few weeks since the great abandoning, and people were still getting used to it. Initially, the town met the silence with louder prayer. That was ignored. The more desperate theologians reached out to the lower planes for an explanation. Their attempts also proved futile. It seemed all the gods, greater and lesser, light and dark, had abandoned them. For Nazim Amezer, on the other hand, things are looking up. After a disappointing trip to Thane's Stand and a harrowing encounter in Kent, the Marquesian shopkeeper had fled here. The snow at the start of his journey had been falling fast, too fast to be natural, and after hearing of the horrors of what happened at the crossroads, he was grateful to be somewhere warm. The shopkeeper is about to tear down for the day. He made it a goal to ration his limited supplies, and the time that passed only made his jewelry and hats more valuable. But he stops closing shop when he sees a wealthy-looking aristocratic gentleman wandering the town square. He's clearly just passing through and obviously not opposed to spending money.
Hello, my friend. Care to peruse my wares? The man gives him a faint smile and wanders over, vaguely curious. Not only a man of taste, but a man of intelligence as well. Nazim proceeds to tell him about the magic hidden within his goods, about how he fled from the north and learned how to enchant on his long journey to safety. He even offers the man a discount, a small price to pay for perhaps the last magic left in the world, he continues. The man's greedy eyes travel from one piece to the next and clears his throat. Nazim smiles. He had quoted this man twice his usual asking price. Then the man moves away a corner of his coat, revealing the metal and weaponry that lie beneath. Nazim's face grows flush as he attempts to redirect. A soldier of the Empire, heading south to help protect the city, I take it. Maybe I can offer you one of the rings free of charge. The soldier smiles back. War's over, Nazim. Ended the second the heathens attacking us lost their powers. You looked surprised. Yes, I know your name. You've become quite popular, I'm afraid. Nazim turns to run, but is met with more soldiers, quickly approaching to his rear. You and these are coming with us. Where? Nazim stumbles. To the capital of the Empire, the soldier says, already filling his pockets with the rings and necklaces. To Karn.